Sizzler.
There you go. Stop while you're ahead. The encore's not working.
Really, you did insult the guy.
Yep.
Listen to me. I was sticking up for you and your dumb drink
no,
earlier.
no.
All right? Let me tell you something, senior tour wrestler. I was sticking up. Don't jump on his side.
Are you crazy?
Why, you fucking wrestle with a walker? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, let's
Wow.
Run,
Rich, run.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you wrestle with a walker, but yeah, he has a kid and 58 years old. God.
You know what?
So you can bounce him on the walker. There you,
know
go,
what?
darling. When you take him to college, she'll drop you off the homeless, the hospice.
Do you know why I have a
She goes to
kid?
college. There's my dad. He's shit himself again. That's Pops, guys. There you go, JBL. I got your back, dog.
The Opie and Anthony Show starts now.
Previously on O&A.
White people are so afraid of the little bit of minorities you become in your neighborhood. As long as you leave the planet and you're fucking minorities on the planet, you're so scared of your little neighborhood. How's that whole colonizing Mars going?
What do you think we're colonizing it for? Here.
You and your neighborhood, and you run.
Get in that spaceship, motherfucker. We're not colonizing Mars, but we can go there.
Her grandfather is also attacking her, and like they just go through all these.
Yeah, I saw that one. It was just everybody bursting through
Everybody
the door.
but a black guy.
Yeah, well, of course.
Yeah, exactly. But the black.
Yeah, that's a little weird. All right, Akiva, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's infuriating that it gets to that point. It's like, why? Why not show a black guy just busting in?
Because we're in the middle of the world's longest apology.
You can't find him on Facebook because he's not in the public profile.
I would give out my email, but I'm still on AOL.
Oh, shit. What the fuck? The internet training wheels have got to come off.
You're basically the last guy there.
And I'm still paying.
I'm still paying. I'm one of those guys.
I just never changed it to...
Welcome, Keith. Keith, you have mail.
Colin Quinn is walking past.
The eternal.
Rattling his keys.
I'm driving past in leather pants.
You need some company?
I have like a fake handlebar mustache.
Your kids look a little lonely.
Fucking Colin.
Opie and Anthony, live next.
Stranger Scandal. Opie and Anthony on satellite radio. Those hosts, Anthony Camilla and Greg Opie.
Controversial team. Opie and Anthony apologizing for yet another raunchy
comment profanity-laced rant. Is this the last straw for the raunchy Radio Duo?
Come on, put the whole thing in your mouth.
Swallow it.
Freedom of fucking speech, like we've said many times, the freedom to say some awful things. You might not like it, but we have the right to say them.
Oh, my.
We have low self-esteem as a show. They are not doing anything. They're not highly skilled. They have no talent.
We're just exploiting people.
See, kids, smoke your pot, play your video games, and watch TV. You'll be better off when you get our age.
There's no ratings here. No one cares.
Well, enough of this palaver. Let's get the show on the road.
Another week.
Well, hopefully 3 blocks away from the situation that happened over the weekend in Times Square.
What happened? I didn't...
That's 3 effing blocks from where we're broadcasting.
Yeah.
Right around the corner and a couple blocks over, right, Ant?
Oh, yeah. Down there all the time, you know?
Now, I was out of touch. I was in a wedding in Philly. So I only heard about this, like, I don't know, late Saturday night.
Yeah.
So what happened? Like, some guy?
Dope,
I dropped my truck off down in the middle of Times Square. I had something to do. There was apparently a cigarette burning in the back.
Imagine it's just one big misunderstanding.
Bunch of fart bombs.
Right.
Well, actually, my truck ran out of gas, and what I was doing was getting gas for the other truck. Then my starter went, so I don't know. I left the truck in Times Square, and I got gas on my shirt, so that's why I was taking one of my shirts off, because they smelled like gasoline as I was going back to my other vehicle.
Imagine.
I had no clue. I don't know why. Someone looking for me?
Yeah. SWAT team around his house right now.
Yeah.
So what, a guy in an SUV decides he's going to blow up Times Square or part of Times Square? Or?
Yeah, he figured he'd give it a whirl with 2 5-gallon cans of gas and 2 things of propane that you would use for a barbecue.
Yeah.
Some fireworks that you could get anywhere, and some wires and clocks.
Well, and his little, sister's alarm clock or
Looked
something?
like my first alarm clock.
Yeah, just
that,
horrible.
Was hooked up to, but they're saying it was a fucking amateur man, and they didn't. They said it wasn't going to blow up. And I like how they're kind of praising the police and the T-shirt salesman guy, because apparently there was a T-shirt vendor and he saw the car smoking,
right,
and ran to a cop, and then the cops came and looked at it and said, "Holy shit!" Cleared the area out and got the guy in the Hurt Locker suit, and the robot and everything.
Kind of cool to see.
Yeah,
usually you see that just in films.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, they're praising, like, wow, it's great that they were able to respond so quickly and get everybody out of there. And the only reason that it worked was because the bomb didn't work.
Right.
Like, if it had worked the way it was supposed to and not just start smoking and fucking fizzing and things like that, it just would have blown the fuck up and taken out a shitload of people.
It wouldn't have taken out any buildings, though, right? Probably the front of buildings, right?
Maybe,
Some glass would have exploded.
They were saying it would have really, like, pretty much blown the car apart. So you're getting a lot of car pieces thrown into a very crowded space. But, it didn't work. Obviously, the police did a great job, and the T-shirt guy realizing something was amiss and going to the cops, that's a good thing. But the only reason that this was thwarted was because of the incompetence of the person that put the thing together. I love how they're praising people that did such a great job in saving people's lives in Times Square, when the fact of the matter is, if that was built right, no one would have known about it. No one would have been able to prevent it.
Sure.
And the next time, if there is a next time, and it does work, it's just going to blow a shitload of people up.
Correct. It absolutely would have been too late. And they have one of those portable police station, like RoboCop things right there.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? I don't know how to describe it. Where it goes up in the air, it's like
on a scissor jack.
Right, and it's like a little kind of box.
command station.
Command station.
They were able to get a bird's eye view at Times Square. They'd lift the cops up in the air and the thing.
Yeah, it goes straight up about 2 stories, and supposedly a cop in there, but I've never seen one in there.
Cameras.
I think it's just for a good show.
You can't even really look in there because the windows are smoked. So
yeah, you don't know what's in there.
Can't see
it. Maybe there is a guy in there, and I should shut up. But that was right there, like a block away from the whole thing.
And they got this guy on camera changing his shirt.
Well, he went down an alley and started ripping off. He took his top shirt off.
Yeah, and he had
to have a different color
underneath
shirt
it,
on.
And they got that on camera, and they're looking at 80 other cameras
in the Times Square area.
In Times Square, that
80
this guy's
cameras, and the
probably
guy, and that's only like a 2-block area.
Yeah. This is just the
2-block area in Times Square. You're seen by 80-something cameras.
Anybody who's against these cameras, this is why they're great. This is why they're great.
Yeah.
They're not bothering law-abiding citizens.
Yeah.
They're bothering a white man in his 40s. It's nice to have the papers at least mention race again. Thank God.
Oh, well.
The papers mention race again.
Of course they do, because it's a white guy.
I'm glad it's a white guy.
If
I
it was,
really am, actually.
If it was a black guy or an Arab or something like that, it would have been nothing but trouble.
It's something like a 40-year-old white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a bald-headed kind of
he's got some
guy.
Horrible balding going on.
He's got like a big spot, like a monk on the back of his head.
Somebody knows him.
Oh, he's going to get nailed.
I bet you they know his name already. They now just got to figure out where he went.
I got no doubt that this guy will be found, and quickly. He left just too much shit laying around.
Well, after your explanation, Blue Healer in Kentucky writes, don't worry, Ope. Geraldo was on Fox News last night telling the terrorists how to make it explode easier. Is that true?
Oh,
and if it is, can we get that audio?
That's great.
That's what the media does wrong all the time.
Yeah. Very good. No one would know.
Let's say hi to Matt, City Cop. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, brother.
That thing's called a Skywatch.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot the name of that damn thing.
Skywatch.
And it's the biggest piece of shit in the world. We've had cops get stuck in it. You had to get the fire department to come with a ladder.
The fire department must love bailing out the cops.
Yeah.
And then every 6 hours you have to come with a can of diesel fuel and refill it. It's a disaster.
Oh, all right.
There's
Skywatch.
no air conditioning in it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
It goes up like one of those things where you use them to get something off the top shelf.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like a scissor jack.
A scissor jack or something.
Yep.
All right, so it's a piece of shit. What do you know about this whole situation, Matt? Anything? What do you hear?
Well, I retired about a year ago for Green Your Pastures outside of the New York City area.
Right.
So, I'm a little out of the loop, but that thing was a disaster.
Right on, man. All right, Matt.
All right, punch it out.
Thank you. Let's say hi to Nick in Wisconsin. Nick.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
All right.
Hey.
Jimmy, I just don't understand you right out of the box. Anyone who doesn't agree with these cameras, is your freedom of speech the only freedom that's important?
What do you mean?
Because you just jumped right out of the box going, anyone who's against these cameras I'm against the cameras.
Are you?
The cameras are ridiculous.
Why are you screaming?
I'm screaming because he angers me at such a level.
I'm me, sir, not he.
Like that was Opie.
Well, you're wrong. Pay attention. That's your problem. You don't listen well.
You anger me at such a level because you're such a reactionary little twat who has really no opinion but to sit on the fence and just say shit.
How is that reactionary? Dude, hold on. How is that reactionary?
It was totally reactionary. Opie made a statement, and they were talking about the thing, and you come out, hey, anyone who's against these is a... Come on, Jim.
Because the big complaints have been the big complaints have been, dude. The big, God, poor little bitch. Angry. Woo. Here's the problem. So anyone else want to complain about how I handle fucking little babies that call up? Goodbye. Here's the problem with those cameras. Despite this guy's just talking shit. He had no opinion on why he was against it. Why are you against them, scumbag? Why are you against them, angry guy?
You said why you're for them.
Yeah, I'm for them because they pick up things like this and people who are going to commit crimes that are going to affect a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this guy who called in, maybe you're a pedophile. Maybe, what's the matter, fucking loud guy? They catch you outside of school, you out with your dick in your hand, and they fucking grabbed your license plate?
Yes. Oh, so you're talking to me.
Yeah, the cameras are a problem.
Oh, Uncle Paul. Yeah, that guy doesn't understand. Like in this day and age,
he understands.
You need that.
If he was honest, he would just call up and say, "I don't like Jim, so now I'm calling up to yell." Exactly. But I didn't give enough of an opinion on that for you to be upset. So I
Yeah,
don't care
yeah.
that you hate me. Just keep listening, faggot.
You're reactionary because cameras picked up a guy that was trying to blow people up in Times Square. Wow, are you an idiot?
And I bash people who are against the camera. Yeah, you're right. Why are you against it? How
Mm-hmm.
does it hurt you as a law-abiding citizen?
My civil liberties are being intruded upon.
Because I don't want to. Why? Explain. Talk about reactionary. But Big Brother. But at the company. But I don't want. Why?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Give me one reason.
You care if you're on camera.
All right, let's go to Neil
How
in
does it
Buffalo.
bother you?
Yeah.
Neil, what's going on, brother?
Morning, guys.
Hi, Neil.
Hi.
Hey, recently on Mythbusters, they tried blowing up a propane cylinder, and it doesn't work. There's a relief valve that lets go. They had a bonfire with like a quart of firewood fire underneath it, and the thing wouldn't blow up. So this thing was just a poor attempt at a bomb.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, that it was very amateur. They're-
Yeah, well...
I bet Al-Qaeda's all pissed off. It's like, oh, no, this ain't ours.
Right.
Knock it off. We're good at this shit.
We got to get the Geraldo audio because he's going to explain how you do it
Geraldo,
correctly.
Good. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Thanks,
say
Geraldo.
Let's say hi to Tom in Madison. Tom, what's going on?
Morning, buddies. I'd like to apologize on behalf of my ignorant cheesehead brethren that called to rag on Jimmy. There hasn't been one fucking case where these cameras have been used to not protect the public good, to not protect the innocent people that are out walking around. They do nothing but good. Look how many crimes have been solved by surveillance cameras in shitty little 7-Elevens, let alone places like Times Square or State Street in Madison.
Well, apparently some people feel like there's civil liberty. You know, Jimmy, you're just reactionary. Well, then how about you stop being such a yelling little faggot because you're a dummy and just explain why you're for them? Why wouldn't you explain why you're against them? Explain why you're against them.
Yeah.
All right, let me go to Mike
Thanks,
on Long
man.
Island. Thanks. Mikey. Mike, let's go, brother. We got a lot of people calling right now.
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
All right, Mike.
Just want to mention that as a cop in the city, the reason why a lot of cops might be against those cameras is we might have somebody that might do something, and we have to get a little rough with them, and then the media uses those cameras to tear us apart, that we were a little too rough, even when we weren't.
All right, that's one thing I don't like the cameras. The cops should be allowed to give a little tune-up every now and then. And boy, those cameras.
You know what?
They're going to tear us apart.
You know what? It makes you think twice because I was down in spring break once and I took a billy club to the gut, and if that was on camera, I'm sure I had a situation on my hands where I could have caused some problems.
Yeah.
But there were no cameras that captured me getting the billy club to the gut. And you know what, though? The rest of the week, I behaved,
You were
man,
a good boy.
like a fucking Cub Scout.
That hurt.
I'm not getting that again.
That hurt.
From a woman cop. She fucking showed me who was boss.
Wow, bitch got you.
And I just didn't feel like walking on the sidewalk because there were so many kids, and I was a kid at the time, too, walking on the sidewalk. I'm like, you know what? I could get to where I need to be a lot faster if I just go in the street and start running. And she goes, hey, get back on the sidewalk. I'm like, ah! And sure enough, before I got the all the way out, I had a billy club to my fucking gut. Guess who walked on the sidewalk for the rest of the week? Thank you, Mikey.
All right, guys.
Let me say hi to Matt in Connecticut. Matt?
The news wanted this to be terrorism so bad, and when I was watching over the weekend, it was like, there's no way Al-Qaeda would use, like, a shitty dollar store alarm clock and some propane tanks. They'd go C4 or something.
Yeah, fertilizer, shit like that.
You're missing the catchphrase.
There is fertilizer in this one.
You're missing the catchphrase, though. Homegrown terrorism.
Homegrown.
This is homegrown.
Disillusionment of the society. Shut it.
Why are we joking? We're 3 blocks away from the fucking scene of the crime. Let me say hi to Dave in Pennsylvania. Dave.
Hey, how you guys doing, boys?
All right.
Dave.
Hey, the problem, Jimmy, is it's not so much that the cameras in themselves are a problem. And yes, if you're not doing anything wrong, you got nothing to worry about right now. But
explain to me. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm kidding.
Well, the thing is that if in the future our government gets too big, once the cameras are in place, like any law that our government puts in place, they don't take it away. So once the cameras are in place, let's say the government gets too big and freedom fighters or people start gathering to try and take back power from our government, now they have an easy way to track people.
Let me interrupt you, buddy. This, and I understand what you're saying. What you're giving is basically a slippery slope argument. And what bothers me about slippery slope arguments is they're always one-sided. They're always used like how about if you say, what's the slippery slope if we have no cameras whatsoever? How many people wouldn't have been caught or would continue to not being caught? I understand what you're saying, but slippery slope to me is not a good enough argument because they've been in place for a little while. And I want to know, how are the civil liberties of average citizens being violated? They've been up long enough to have indicated if it's going to happen. You can't just have a fantasy or even a logical thought that someday the entire government is going to use them to hurt freedom fighters. To me, the safety of people from being attacked like this guy was trying to attack us and be caught is more important than a possible threat of big government X amount of years down the road.
It would be
well, Jimmy, it kind of goes along with what Ben Franklin said. That I think it was Ben Franklin. It was either Ben Franklin or Thomas Jefferson. That anybody who would give up freedom for security deserves neither.
But yeah, exactly. That's like saying, but I'm not saying the police should be able to walk into our houses and look through our computers because they suspect something. That's an irrational giving up of a freedom.
I certainly hope not.
How are you giving up a freedom? You're saying someday that may cause you to give up a freedom. That's not what Ben Franklin said, or whoever said it, Thomas Jefferson. He didn't say that the prospect of someday a freedom being gone should endanger people now.
What Jefferson was saying is these cameras are bogus. And if we don't get them out of our streets, then we're just going to be bogus too.
How does it affect us? How does it affect our freedoms? Like, not with someday a big government and freedom fighter. Right now, as you live, how is it affecting you negatively or citizens negatively?
Well, I'm not saying that it affects us now. That's what I'm saying. But that's the whole thing is nobody looks in the future. They're all worried about what's going on right now.
Well, should there be jails then? Because don't forget, jails, innocent people are thrown in jail. I mean, you want to talk about civil liberty violations. The jails have innocent people in them, people who didn't commit the crimes. So should the concept of a jail be ended because it is at times misused? Or because at times wrongs are done?
No, I agree with you that. I guess there are some innocent people in jail, but no, the whole thing shouldn't be scrapped.
Right.
But there's a big difference between people getting put in jail accidentally. I mean, they're slowly with the things that they're coming up with DNA, and so they're slowly getting on top of that.
How about innocent people that would be kept out of jail by cameras like this? How about the fact that every one of us, let's be very honest, we thought, hey, Islamic terrorists. That's the first thought you have. And you know what? It turns out it could be a white guy, and a balding white guy. Has nothing to do with what we thought. So how about the fact that it's going to keep the police from taking an investigation in the wrong direction, and it's also going to protect innocent people from being hassled?
Okay, well, then what I want to know is why aren't they showing more of the video? I've seen the video they played. I was looking at a couple of different ones. They were different news sites this morning. They were only showing this guy taking his shirt off. I have yet to see a video on the news.
They're still going through all of them. They're still going through.
Right.
They got like
82 cameras
to look at.
And someone's got a picture of this guy, probably on their Facebook by now.
Yeah.
With all the tourists in Times Square taking pictures and throwing them up on their Facebook.
You're right. You're right.
If I was the NYPD, I would just say, hey, send all your pictures that you took in Times Square into this P.O. box for us immediately, please, or this email address.
They'll nail this guy really quickly. You
Absolutely.
watch. There's so much information on him.
All right,
You haven't given me a good reason, sir. I'm sorry. I heard you out, but I just don't agree.
All right, we got to move on. Stryker, what's up, buddy?
Hey, morning, boys.
Hey.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes.
Let me tell you, while I agree with you that in this instance it has worked, in general, they really don't reduce as much crime. I'll give you an example here in Denver. They've got them up in several areas. Last summer, we had 35 there was 50 acts of violence by black gang members against white people in one lower downtown area. It was caught on supposedly there's all these security cameras around. The cameras caught zero. They caught none of it. In another part of downtown Denver, they've got all these cameras on this one street corner to combat prostitution and drug crimes, and all they did is moved it 3 blocks over where they can't install the camera.
Okay, I'm not saying that, again, it's the cure-all, but in a place like Times Square can't be moved over 3 blocks. An area that is a target, and these cameras are somehow protecting or somehow, it's like airport security or any other security. It's like they have footage of people coming in and out. How amazing is it in Newark Airport when Newark Airport got shut down? a day or two later, they did find the security footage of the guy who, or was it JFK? It was one of the airports going through.
Newark,
and you realize it was just some guy going to hug his girlfriend.
Yeah, dummy.
So I'm not saying it's the solver of all crimes, but I don't see how it's an invasion on the civil liberties of law-abiding citizens. I get caught on camera all the time. I live here, and I've never once had a negative implication.
And I mean, I go in out of businesses and warehouses all the time where I'm caught on security camera too.
Sure.
But one of the things that came out last year when they were talking about these assaults that happened was they interviewed one of the person who heads the camera program here in Denver, and they asked him about. They said, "Well, why can't the media see these tapes to find out if the cops aren't doing anything wrong?" Oh, we can't do that. We can't let you see anything on these tapes unless there's a crime. Well, how do we know you're not abusing it?
But,
well, we just can't show it to you.
Well, but again, it's kind of like what the other guy said. It's a supposition. I think I respect the fact they're not showing the media, because people say, like, what if you're somewhere and you don't want people to know? Like, say you cheat on your wife or whatever, and you're picked up on some security camera. To me, that is a problem. You should have the right to do that in your own private life without Big Brother learning. So what they're doing is actually not giving it to the media. You actually, in a way, made my point. It's not, they're not handing this over to a place where it could publicly humiliate or embarrass people. They are using it for police work.
But these cameras do get abused on a regular basis.
How?
If you talk to, when I was in my early 20s, I worked as a security guard in a building where we could control the cameras, and we used to change the settings on the cameras so we could spy on chicks in the restroom. Because there was a camera right on the wall. There was a camera in an area where we could see it. Where some of these.
So you're abusing the cameras.
Yeah, dude,
motherfucker.
You're abusing them.
You're the one abusing the cameras.
I know it can. I know it can be done.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, you would be making a great point if you were in charge of the cameras. Were you in charge of the cameras at the time, or were you guys kind of sneaking around and fucking around with the cameras?
We were in charge of the cameras.
Yeah, see, I don't really trust the people that are in charge of the cameras. That's the problem I have.
No. Well, and that's just it. There's one of the cameras here in Denver where it's located on this one street corner. There's an apartment building right across from it that a lot of the windows, you can drive by and see the windows are open in the middle of the night.
Right.
But how do we know the cops don't swing that camera around and say, maybe one night they were panning through there and caught some chick undressing that was hot. So now, every night we're going to pan over there and look for
You're
her.
right, but that's all, again, because something can be perverted or misused, that's the same argument as jail. Because something can be misused doesn't mean that thing shouldn't be used. It means the penalty for misusing it should be extremely harsh. And the argument you're making would also be a great argument now for flip cameras, cell phone cameras, because all of those could be used as spying devices too. Should cell phones not have cameras?
Ban them.
What's that?
That's why a lot of places ban cell phone cameras and the flip cameras because of invasion of privacy.
Okay.
What places?
Yeah, what places?
Well, like
glory
most
hole,
health-
rest stop
pretty much-
glory holes.
Pretty much every gym or health
Yeah,
club,
gyms and locker
they're-
rooms
they're-
and stuff like that. That's
they're
been
totally banned.
Right.
That's been the rule for many, many years, though.
But there's also been no claim of those being used to make a gym safer. They're simply being used for perverted reasons.
Right.
A camera in something like this is there for a different purpose. It is not just used to catch some guy with his fucking balls hanging out or catch a woman bending over to fucking pull her sweaty socks off.
All right, Striker.
I think we agree to disagree.
That's hey man,
Right
you
on.
don't want the cameras. I'm happy they're there. I have nothing to. There's nothing I care if they pick up. Honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, and there have been reports that come out of the UK where the cameras are even more prevalent. That
yeah. Well, that's
they
UK.
haven't done quite as much.
Yeah, well, the UK is also extremely politically correct, and the idea of Big Brother is terrifying.
Nanny state over
Yeah,
there.
yeah. How about this? If the cameras are misused, the person misusing the camera, the penalty should be fucking horrendous. Make
But
a very
how do we
harsh
know if
penalty
they're-
for it.
How do we know if they're abusing it?
I'm not sure what you mean. How do we know they're abusing it? That's not an argument against it because we can't somehow. What do you mean? How do we know if people are being arrested and put in jail and those cameras are being used as evidence, or if people's lives are being affected? That's like saying, how do you know that no one's going through your bank account because of an internet connection?
Yeah.
That's not That's not an argument against
Well,
it.
it goes back to what I said before about when the media has asked to just peruse these tapes, and they'll do it in the secure setting, not going to take it out, to make sure that they're not being abused, and the cops are telling them no, that you can't, that they can't.
Why should
How
they?
do we know?
What? Because I'll tell you why. The media being allowed to see that to me is abusing the cameras. I don't want I would much rather have it as it is now than have the Post or the Daily News be allowed to rifle through it.
Yeah.
You see the way these are the same people that put Tiger's mistresses on the cover for 30 straight days on the front page, and you think that they all of a sudden have integrity and are going to use them for good reasons?
Well, I'm not saying that if you get to view it, you get to take it out of the where it's stored. You're allowed to view it there with nothing, with no cameras or anything like that.
Who are the media, though? Who are they?
In other words, what?
Meaning, who are the media? Why would you trust the media? Why would you expect these people, like the cops, I have a certain amount of trust with, not blindly or stupidly, but a certain amount of trust. Why the media, who are just ordinary citizens who have little reporter IDs, why would you want them looking at something that they could just see by standing outdoors anyway?
All right. What if you have a public, like here in Denver, they've got a citizen committee that will review certain questionable actions by the cops.
Right.
And okay, I think a lot of major cities have this. What if they sat down and said, okay, we'd like to see just random footage just to make sure you're not abusing these cameras.
And how about
we're not going to release it to the public, and we'll sit there and we'll view it in a secure room and no cameras on us or anything like that. And, you can watch over us to make sure that we're not copying it to take for our use.
And how about
they're
if they,
not allowed to do that either?
how about this? How about if the answer from the police or whatever was, the privacy of people going in about their daily lives should not be up for review by other citizens. Like, for instance, if something from the camera is used, then to me the Citizens Review Board should be able to see it and make a judgment on it. But I don't want other citizens just watching what I'm doing. Not that I have anything to hide, but to me that's an invasion of privacy. If all of a sudden you're just showing other people my comings and goings. The police, to me, I understand why there's a reason for that. If I get piped over the head, I like the idea it can be caught on camera.
So do I. It'd be a hoot.
Well, let's go the other. What if you're cruising hookers, though, Jimmy, and you get caught on camera?
So what? I am committing a crime. And again, believe me, I'm a guy who's a filth bag. I've done it for hours and years of my life have been wasted. But I'm doing something wrong.
Right.
I am doing something that's against the law. I can't cry if there's another way for them to catch me.
True.
That's like saying I don't like radar because it can be used to it violates my civil liberties because it can be used to catch me speeding.
Yeah, true.
But look, I don't know why. What the? I just want to know, in instances of when these cameras have been used, all I hear is speculation. When have they been used negatively to harm citizens?
All right, Stryker. Thank you, sir.
All right, guys.
That's all I'm asking for from one person.
Because we got Mike Baker calling in at 7:30 to talk about Times Square, and we could talk about cameras and everything else with him as well. Absolutely.
It would be really nice if we didn't need cameras, but in this society, in this day and age, we need fucking security cameras. Sorry.
It's kind of cool that you can see the suspect on Monday morning. You're like, holy crap, that's the guy.
Exactly.
You didn't think it? I didn't think it was Al Qaeda.
Al
Qaeda knows how to get their shit done. Unfortunately, they know how to get their shit done.
That would have blown up and been.
I was thinking more
insane.
I was thinking more Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, this is kind of an Acme.
Yeah, this was an Acme bomb.
Acme bomb.
And the Ben Franklin quote. Thank you, Brad, from Buckwalter in D.C.
Let me stick my cock in some of those French broads.
Yeah, give me
there you go.
Give me a white stocking quickly. That was the Ben Franklin quote.
And why did he have those bifocals again, Ant? You were explaining that recently on our show.
Oh, yeah, he invented the bifocal so he can be very good at eating pussy, so he could lick the clit and see it, and then he could also look up at her tits. Because everyone thinks it was reading.
No.
Ben was doing a lot of fucking back in the day.
He wanted to enjoy his sex.
My goodness, how can I lick a clitoris and also look at a wonderful woman's breasts?
Right.
I'll make bifocals.
Either that or she was asleep and he wanted to make sure she didn't wake up, so he would lick and peek, and if her eyes fluttered open, he would back away.
And the quote is, those who would sacrifice liberty for security deserve neither.
But I'm not willing to sacrifice liberty, so that was a...
I'm just saying, that's the famous Ben Franklin quote.
Yeah, but that's incorrect. I'm not willing to do
London caught their bombers quickly because their cameras were everywhere. Thank you, Greg in D.C.
Yeah, I wish I would remember that.
What else we got? Satellites, whatever. God, there's a lot of phone calls.
Satellites were a big fear, right? Like satellites are going to be used to spy on us, and if they can see a license plate. How have ordinary citizens, how have our lives been hurt by satellites?
I know of one case where I was just told this by somebody. We were talking insurance,
right?
And for your homeowner's insurance and accident insurance for your home, apparently the insurance companies are using like Google Earth to look in people's yards to see if they have things like trampolines and pools and things that would negate their insurance policies or make them have to pay higher premiums. So they're going around using that so they can look into your fucking yard.
That's a cocksucker.
And
that's a cocksucker used for a fucking camera.
Yes and no. I mean, look, if you're in a way, and believe me, I don't like the insurance companies, but in a way, if you're not telling them you have something in the backyard, you're lying to them. Right. So it's a way for them to not get fucked.
Yeah.
It's a game both sides play. You know,
you got to camouflage it like fucking an old fighter plane. You got to put fucking green shit over it. It looks like a lawn.
David in Kansas City, what's up?
Good morning, boys.
What's up, David?
We have to be glad that we have surveillance cameras, that we never would have seen that rude old woman get her hat removed by that nice young gentleman.
See?
Right.
True.
There you go. We would have never got that footage.
Oh, that rude, horrid woman.
Yes, trying to steal that hat, and that enterprising young employee who came and took it back for the company. that
Her
hero.
wheels spin around. That was the best part, I think.
Oh, when she fell
wheel.
over
Yeah.
and the little wheel was going.
She's still alive, too, man.
She is.
She is an old
Still
broad.
alive. One hat and she's still alive.
Hopefully she's learned her lesson. Won't be behaving that way anymore.
Jimmy left early on Thursday, so he missed our new character, Cruising Collins on the line.
Cruising Collins.
Cruising Collins, what's going on, buddy?
Good morning, boys. I'd like to say I'm opposed to the cameras. They get in the way when I'm just trying to make new friends.
make new friends.
A bunch of buddies came in.
What a great time we had
Thank
with
you.
fucking
Colin Quinn.
Colin, man.
That was hilarious, Cruising Colin. All right, whatever. Why don't we take our first break? We'll get back into this whole discussion about Times Square and this bomber and security and fucking cameras and all that with Mike Baker. You know Mike Baker, Jimmy?
Yeah, I've done red eye with him many, many times. He's
Solid
an
dude?
very solid guy. He's an ex-CIA guy, and he's a very bright guy. And by the way, you see how Stryker called up, and we didn't agree on it, but at least he made his point, and this is why, as opposed to that fucking jack-off that called up yelling, I'm yelling character. Stop trying so hard to be a part of the radio show, you jerk off. Just pay your monthly bill and shut your face.
Not letting you get a word in edgewise. He's
But
just
then
got
he hung
to yell
up.
and then hang up.
He's called before. He's the guy I like. I like when Oprah will turn him down. It's like, here's the rule, silly little goose.
Yeah.
When you yell, you get turned down, and then he stops yelling.
And then, we respond to you.
Yeah, then he
Dummy.
stops yelling. But yeah, Mike Baker's great.
All right, we'll get into a few other things, and then we'll get back on this topic. I officially give up on the Conan versus Jay thing. I saw
God,
Conan
yeah,
on 60 Minutes, and I just give up. I just will never see it.
Conan's looking like a red-headed Hemingway.
Yeah.
He's got the beard going now, and
I just don't get it. I just don't get why we're supposed to feel sorry for Conan O'Brien. I don't understand.
Very bitter and very angry.
And
at
just
this
saying that,
situation.
now the phone's going to be lit with people trying to explain it again. I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I get why he's
The
mad
guy
at the
was-
network, though. Why he's mad at the network, I understand.
Sure. But I don't get it. You got Jay Leno back in his old spot, number one. So obviously that was a good fucking decision by a company.
Yeah.
Holy I just don't get it. I don't get it.
He's saying Jay should have just walked away. He goes, if in the same situation, he would have just walked away. And
No one
really,
would have just walked away in that situation.
Would you have? Really?
No.
You could return.
None of us know fucking Conan, but odds would state that he wouldn't.
You could return and
And
kick ass again. And
why didn't they bring up in the 60 Minutes thing about what he did to George Lopez? Really, George Lopez was happy with what is going on at TBS?
I bet not.
I would if I was a betting man like Anthony, I would bet a lot of money on that.
I bet
that George Lopez
not
was like,
happy.
oh fuck, this was my little fucking thing here at TBS.
No, you can't see it this way. You're going to be accused of fucking, those guys just a Jay. Those guys just some sucker Jay's dick. Shut up. Fucking assholes. Holy fuck.
I got to be honest, though. I don't get it anymore. I just don't get it. I really thought I saw it so clearly, but people just see it completely opposite. I don't understand. We'll play some of the Conan audio after the
I have
break,
not heard any of it.
And we'll get into it a little bit. And somebody was trying to make a joke that Jay Leno was in the middle of Times Square. And
What?
Well, because there
That
was a bomb. And
because
Jay Leno
boy.
has nothing but bombs. I did hear that he didn't do well in Washington, though, huh?
Yeah, but it's hard. I
With
didn't.
the correspondence dinner?
Yeah, they painted it like that, but I didn't hear the
That's what
audio.
I heard.
or see it,
I haven't seen or heard the audio myself yet.
Did
I
he come out
will.
in blackface? That would have been appropriate.
But Obama
Yeah,
killed,
no, I
right? But Obama's got, 100 writers fucking writing lines for him?
Yeah, apparently he's the comedian in chief, they were calling him.
Obama looks like he doesn't have a funny bone in his fucking body.
Bush was
he's
funny,
a
though.
nerd. He's
Bush was a
fucking
funny guy.
nerd.
Bush was funny.
You think he's a funny guy?
Bush was a funnier guy than without a doubt. He was a much funnier guy than Obama.
Did you see W, the movie?
I did
W?
not know.
Yeah, the whole story is, it's Oliver Stone, so
of course,
horse shit.
What did Bush
Who
do?
knows?
Did he have devil horns? He had to wear a hat over.
There were moments where there was a fantasy moment with showing his insecurities and shit like that, but that's beyond the point there. That what's his name? Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
He fucking did a dead-on impression
All right.
of George W.
Yeah.
Bush. Like it was. You weren't taken out of the movie thinking like, oh, that's a guy acting like Bush. The motherfucker sounded, his mannerisms, his faces. So sometimes you're looking going, are they using like Bush footage on that? That guy's good.
Yeah. I still haven't seen that fucking movie.
Really good.
I heard they made Cheney look like the real jerk off in that as opposed to Bush.
Yeah. Cheney.
Well, that's
and,
easy to do.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
listen,
few-
we got to
few
take a
other
break. Let's not forget Dave Winfield coming in today. That's
Yes.
huge.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking huge. And Sandy Kane coming in to say hi.
Oh.
Let's not say those things back to back.
She's coming in because, yes, she's 32 years old, I believe.
And right after the break, Jism and shit were said on local TV.
Wow.
The local news. We'll play the audio. We're back finally? Holy shit. Jimmy, what do you got going on, man?
I'm going on sale. I return to the Borgata Friday and Saturday, July 2nd and 3rd. That's July 4th weekend.
Two shows?
Yeah, one Friday, one Saturday.
Nice.
It sold out last time. There was no third show. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. It will probably sell out. That's a very busy weekend. So, Borgata, July 2nd, 3rd, on sale this Friday.
Very good. All right. We got a couple news readers fucking up. Unfortunately,
Love
with the
that.
internet, most of you guys have probably heard the Jism one by now, right?
I haven't.
I've
not heard.
Seriously?
No, honestly, no.
Wow, I tweeted this 4 days ago. This is getting old real fast, but we took Friday off, so it's worth a spin. Rosanna Scotto here in New York, Fox 5. She had this to say, or maybe not.
Rosanna Scotto?
Yeah, she's one of the local broads here, one of the local news readers. She thinks she's good. She's average at best, and she did this.
Should milk that's not from a cow be called milk? What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Mother's milk is not from a cow, and we call it milk. Dr. Sumner Freak.
They're talking about things like the soy milk,
Right.
the
That's-
rice milk.
Why not? Yeah, what else are we going to call it? Soy juice? You can't
well-
do that.
Soy jism.
Rosanna.
Okay, that's an option too. Yeah. Anyway, so the National Milk Producer.
How do you just
Holy
go
shit.
anyway?
Why would she blurt that out? Did she think that wasn't
I think she's out of touch. I really think she's
crazy
out of
thing to
touch.
say?
I don't think she realizes how crazy that is.
What kind of
I
FCC
think
violation
I
is
think
that?
she realizes
Yeah.
it's slightly crazy, but she doesn't realize
That
it's
it's common.
really fucking
Jism.
crazy. Yeah, she
That's a
just-
violation, isn't it?
It has to be.
I would assume.
Well, this is the same Rosanna Scotto who had that panic look on her face when Ernie Anastas said, "Keep fucking that chicken" on the same show.
Keep fucking that chicken.
Sam, you're a terrific young broadcaster, but I think you're wrong.
Oh,
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think someone was filling in that day
Look it up.
with the wide eyes.
Yeah.
Holy shit, he's fucking calling you,
wanna,
out.
You want to bet one of your 3 shows?
Calling you
No.
out.
No, I'm not
You want to
gonna
bet one
a
of your
show.
3 shows?
Oh, his 3 shows.
He's part of 3 shows. You want to bet it?
No, I don't want to bet a show.
It was another broad.
Look at the
Look it up,
company,
look it
man.
up.
I don't like
With
the way
his
she-
fucking serious jacket.
I
on,
know.
right?
Yeah. Well, he's doing 3 shows now for Sirius XM.
God.
I don't like the way Sam really thinks he's making a splash.
We got to play this again as Sam looks that up. But she just made a cum joke. You think she realizes she was making a cum joke? That's what I asked.
Yeah, does
today.
she? What does she think
I don't think she-
jism is?
Does she realize that's a cum joke?
And if she knows jism is cum, doesn't she know you can't really talk about cum on the news?
I think at this point, these newsreaders, they see that if they fuck up, they become YouTube sensations. So I think they're all trying to just fuck up.
Just fuck up?
Yeah, I think so. I
Well,
think so.
Yeah, because what's her face there from the Meredith Vieira?
Yeah, we're going to go into hers
Yeah,
next.
She fucked up.
But first, Rosanna Scotto again. See, that's not Rosanna Scotto.
Good thing I didn't bet a show,
Yeah,
huh?
see.
Ah,
Dead wrong on that one.
Can I hear that though? I want to hear Ernie Anesta saying.
Keep fucking that chicken. Keep fucking that chicken. Keep fucking that chicken.
I know.
I know. Rosanna Scotto again.
Should milk that's not from a cow be called milk? What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Mother's milk is not from a cow.
Unless it's from someone's balls. I think it should be called life-giving elixir.
I call it mouthwash. I like a good gargle in the morning.
And we call it milk. Dr. Sumner Creek.
They're talking about things like the soy milk, right? You know, the rice milk.
Why not? Yeah. What else are we going to call it? Soy juice? You can't do that.
Soy jism.
Rosanna.
Okay, that's an option too. Yeah, and then,
that's an option too.
Anyway, so the National Milk for
the way she jumps in, just like soy jism, soy jism,
Chug jism.
She just loves her jism.
Jism on your cereal.
What was she thinking?
I don't know.
I'd love to fucking be able to ask her, what the fuck were you thinking there?
Why do they move on so fast?
They really do like to get out of those situations. Did
gotta-
she come back
you gotta
and
slow
apologize
everything
later
down.
on?
No, I'm sure not.
Earlier in the broadcast, if I said something that may have offended some people, jism!
Yes.
The one girl did address it. She goes, well, I guess that's an option, too.
Yeah, that's an option.
Do you understand? These are people that are on live television, and one of them just made a cum joke.
Yes.
That's a big, for us, it's very mild.
Yeah.
But that's a big deal when you're on the news.
On the news.
I think we're teaching a lot of people. We're way smarter than the local newsreader. Most of the listeners are way smarter than the local newsreader.
Now you're getting carried away with yourself.
No.
The listeners.
I know we like to beat ourselves down a little bit, but you know, they're just dummies that know how to read well.
How about soy jism? God, she fucking loves saying that. She jumped in. Like everyone's gonna go, ha ha ha, soy jism.
Wasn't even a good line.
No.
And what would be the point of that if she wasn't going for a shocking thing?
I don't know.
Is jism used in other ways that we just don't know?
What's the definition of jism? Look up jism. Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, well, that's, you know
Well, there's
what's
9
going on with that.
definitions.
Okay. Which of them are not about cum?
Yeah.
One is sweet secretion from the male reproductive organ.
Okay.
Yes.
2 is thick white fluid containing sperms that is ejaculated by the male genitalia.
0 for 2.
Jism comes from the rhythm from the man from his gland in his hand.
Okay.
0 for 3.
Cum, sperm, spooge, male or female ejaculation fluids.
How about soy spooge?
That'd be 0 for 4.
The white sticky stuff that comes out of the tallywhacker.
That would be 0 for 5.
Yeah.
The white shit that
0 for
chicks
6.
love.
The white shit that chicks love? That's
Yes.
what it just said?
Yes. And finally, another name for sperm, semen.
0 for 7.
It couldn't be anything but that.
That's what it is.
Can we go to a real dictionary now,
Yeah,
please?
that Urban Dictionary is.
It's a little
All
rough.
right.
Dictionary of
no,
that's sex dictionary.
And then we got the old bra that wants to bang. It seems like Meredith Vieira.
Meredith Vieira.
Well, remember her from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where she was like fawning over that fucking young, was he a Marine or
Oh,
something?
God,
military
right.
guy.
Yes.
She was losing her fucking mind over that
Yep.
guy. Well, now she had this to say just the other day on the Today Show.
And the thing is that you don't have to turn the wheel too hard to get a reaction. So it's a very sensitive wheel, much like the wheel in your car.
Did you explain what she's doing?
All right, once you get it up a ways, then we'll have you. Okay, now assume that your
Driving
text is just wrong.
simulator.
You're reaching over to pick it up, and you need to read the text message out loud.
Meredith, oh, jeez. You shouldn't be. Oh, shit! Why did he stop? Jeez. Okay, now we need to bleep that out.
What exactly is she in?
She's
she's
in
trying.
a simulator of driving.
NASCAR or something?
No,
Simulator?
they were actually trying to show how distracting texting is. So they put her in this little simulator to drive, and she had to read a text as she's trying to drive. And she wound up rear-ending a tractor trailer.
Yeah, but I bet you she fucking does that all the time when she's not on the news or on the Today Show.
What, yells shit or texts?
Reads a text.
Yes,
I'm sure that's not the first time she tried to read a text while
Yeah.
she was driving.
That's what Harry Chapin was doing, reading a text.
I bet you that the problem was she's probably said, "Oh, it's my iPhone," and the photo of my cunt wouldn't go through. She was trying to wave it. You know how you shake your iPhone?
Yeah, it's got to go through. You got to wave it around a little bit.
Fucking jism and shit on the news. All right. Jism is
As?
defined on dictionary.com as
Cum. So it really is
There's
just
really no way
fucking-
around it.
And semen is the other definition.
I want to
cum or semen.
I want to congratulate Rape Kit. You just spent an hour on hold officially. It just went past the hour mark there, sir. What do you got for the show?
Thank you. I feel so relieved to finally get on the air.
All right, from Harlem, Rape Kit. What do you got, buddy?
Well, I just wanted to shed some light on the Conan O'Brien 60 Minutes thing. I know that you guys, especially you, it seems, Opie, doesn't like to, don't want to talk about it, but
Wait, I'm not admitting defeat, by the way. I just don't get it. I just don't get it anymore.
Well, that's why
I'm not seeing it Conan's way. I don't think I'll ever see it Conan's way, but I'm officially saying I just don't get it.
Well, listen, I don't even like Conan O'Brien or Leno for their shows, to be honest with you. I only watch when there's milestones, like when Jimmy's on, or, the last episodes of, when they were going off the air on the respective previous shows they had.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm like, I watch Colbert and Daily Show and shit like that. So I think that my opinion is, it doesn't have any bias to it. And when you watch Conan last night, he was basically reiterating what people wanted to hear from him, from his mouth, because he was forced not to say a word after he got let go. I mean, he was on a no. He contractually couldn't say anything until May 1st.
Well, I got just to stop you for a second. That's normal, by the way, when a company lets you go. He got off lucky. We weren't allowed to say something for over 2 years. He only had
wonderful.
3 or 4 months not to talk.
Yeah.
God, that's
Right, well,
a cakewalk.
No one's saying that he's obviously even he admits that he's he laughs at the fact that he got off with $30 million. He already has a new show lined up. But the problem is that his expression of he was so surprised that he worked for a company like NBC for so many years. He started in Saturday Night Live as a writer, and then he got brought up by Lorne Michaels himself to have his own talk show. He was Jeff's. The one thing I didn't know was
What is
Jeff
this,
Zucker.
Conan, This Is Your Life?
Yeah, so
Yeah, really, you got to get to your point, Ray Kit.
He was born in Boston, Massachusetts.
You don't tell us in real time.
You want to talk about, as far as Leno being a company man. I remember Jimmy saying a lot of times when this happened that Leno was a company man with NBC. Well, Conan O'Brien was a real company man. I mean, he fucking was a Harvard roommates with Jeff Zucker, for crying out loud.
Were they
Or
roommates?
classmates.
Dude.
Or classmates. With Jeff Zucker.
They were
At the same time,
classmates.
were at
I don't
Harvard
think
together.
they roomed
So, I mean,
together.
Could you read his thesis now on the
So
air for us?
basically, they were classmates. So Zucker obviously really loved Conan, and they were friends. So when Zucker promised him this thing, he probably didn't want to go back on it, even though when time came to do it, it didn't make sense.
I'll agree with you, Jimmy. I heard all your arguments months ago when this happened, and
Right.
I agree with you that it didn't make sense for NBC to say to Leno, look, you're number one, and in 5 years, it doesn't matter, we're still going to take you off the air. But let's look at things in reality and perspectives. These guys are high-priced entertainers, and they have very good agents, better
Right.
than Bob Eatman, I bet.
Yes.
And, I mean, you have to look at it that they probably, for Leno to let this happen, I don't know what the hell's wrong with him, his agent, or NBC.
Honestly,
to have to
dude,
force him out like that.
he is the best lawyer. Honestly, he is one of the best lawyers, if not the best lawyer in Hollywood. And that's why he's still where he is. He has a great agent. It wasn't, I don't think it was a point of agents. I think when NBC says we're giving this to Conan in 5 years, NBC is bigger than the agent, and there's nothing the agent can do.
This may be true, Jimmy, but, Leno had, I mean, look, I'm not saying he should have taken other options. I think what Leno did is fine for what he refers as an entertainer and for somebody who still commands a number one audience.
Right.
But he did have options. Now, I'm not saying he necessarily should have taken them.
What were they?
But, he had options to get paid a lot of money and leave NBC and go and do something else. You know, when they told him, he could have balked and said, fuck you. You don't think I'm still deserving of the show and I'm number one and you're still going to push me off? He could have done that.
Or
that's what Conan's saying. Conan's saying, well, you know, I'm not saying what Jay did was not honorable. I would have done something different maybe, but...
Well, wait a minute, though. Or how about the option Jay took, which was not to self-destruct and be stupid and give up what he felt was rightfully his, but how about the option to just continue doing shows and not be a baby about it and stay number one, and then all of a sudden, instead of being bitter or leaving or whatever, you're now in a position where the network cannot afford to lose you. And that's what. Hold on, let me finish. You just, dude, hold on. You just talk for 5 minutes. Let me fucking respond. You just keep. Come on, man. You just talk. I'm responding to you. So Jay's option was, you gave the option. Why did you do this? Why did you leave? Well, the option he took was to shut his mouth, stay number one, and then, hey, look, he took the show at 10 o'clock. He probably didn't want to. Conan probably didn't want him there. And then the option was when they offered him the show, he took it back. So right now, he's still the Tonight Show host. And he's number one again. He's number one again. So what's the issue? What he did was obviously right. I think NBC made a terrible decision. And he obviously handled it pretty well because he's back hosting the Tonight Show. And he's number one again.
I think the only issue that I would have...
It's mind-bending to me.
Well, this is why I give up.
It's mind-bending to me.
I don't see it Conan's way, but I officially give up. I give up.
Saying it yourself, Jimmy.
I give up.
You said, and I quote just now. You're like, oh well, he took back what was rightfully his.
Yes.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, Jimmy, if the people he's working for felt that he wasn't working out and they wanted to try something new, then I think Jay, in as far as his own publicity, he kind of screwed up as far as taking the lesser role at the 10 o'clock slot, and basically, and the experiment and everything, everyone knew that it was way too risky to work because of the fact that nobody is going to watch, Leno at 10 o'clock when his time slot at 11:35 is where the audience is. It's like when you go to bed, that's where it is. 10 o'clock, nobody's watching it.
Then why did they do it? Let me ask you a question. Why didn't they just tell Leno to leave?
Because they wanted to save money, and they knew if they held on to Leno, they would have saved money. They knew he had much more value and worth in dollars than Conan O'Brien. And even Conan said it last night in 60 Minutes, that Jay Leno to buy out would be $150 million or some ridiculous number, whereas Conan O'Brien took $32 million.
Yeah. Sounds like Jay's agent was pretty good then. Fucking that's a terrible agent.
Jimmy. He could have pulled to say, you know what, fuck you, you're not going to take me out in 5 years. And when he knew that it was impending, it shouldn't have even been an issue. It should have been, at that point that he drew the line in the sand.
Or how come everyone is saying what Jay should have done to be honorable? Why have you not one time implied?
It has nothing to do with honor. I'm not even talking about honor.
Whatever it is. All right, whatever it is. Jay should have done this. Why have you not one time say what Conan should have done differently? Why have you not said one time, hey, you know what? Maybe Conan should have taken the quote-unquote high road and seen that Leno was still number one and said, you know what? This should not be my slot right now. Aha! How come one person hasn't said that?
Well,
all you're saying...
For the same reason, Jimmy, that because of how it turned out. If it turned out that Jay Leno got the raw end of this deal in the end, as far as, getting pushed out of NBC... I probably would be calling, and it would probably be Jay on
No, you wouldn't, dude. You would not.
He'd probably be the one getting the highlight.
Here's what would happen. If Jay went across the street to ABC, he would have fucking beaten up Conan, and that would have cost him. It would have hurt NBC a lot. So they kept him there. Personally, and he's never said this to me. It's something I've always felt. I personally think one of the reasons he took that spot was because he knew that if Conan didn't do well, he was still at the network. And I firmly believe that. And I've never said that to him. I doubt he'd admit it. But, I mean, that's personally my feelings is that he's not a dummy, dude. And he might have on some level thought if Conan doesn't do well, I'm right here to take back my show. Why should he? Like we've all had management make dumb decisions. And imagine working all those years and giving up every 5 days a week. You're constantly working. You're an animal. You're fucking doing it. You're number one. And then management just comes and takes it away. Do you know how frustrating that is? To fight for that long and be loyal for that long and you're still doing your job, and they come and take it from you, and then you're like, fuck that, I don't want this cocksucker in management because he doesn't want to admit he's wrong. Take my gig.
So he stuck it out at 10 o'clock, knowing that, number one, that he's still good enough to be a number one slot at 11:35. Number two, he knew it was,
yes, he was number one when he left. So
he knew that
why
show
wouldn't
was
he
tanking
think
immediately. He knew that show was a failure from the get-go, Jimmy.
No, I don't think he did because it had never been done before. Look, dude, nobody goes into a show like that and knows they're going to fail. I mean, everybody has an ego. Leno's set for life. Believe me, he didn't go in there thinking, oh, good, we're going to fail and get the Tonight Show back. I think that he thought if Conan didn't do well, he was still there. That's just my guess.
All right, Red Kid, that's it.
But he's number one again,
That's
dude.
it.
He's
That's
not. It's like I don't get how people can.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
This is turning into arguing about abortion.
right, well,
you know what I mean?
guys.
And you're never going to change the other
And
guy's
I want someone to
fucking
give
opinion.
me the lead in, the bigger lead in.
Let's go to Joe in Las
I guess
Vegas.
we'll just have
Joe.
to agree that he's a douche.
Joey.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Joe.
I was wondering why you guys aren't really into Conan that much. I mean, you guys love Jay, but how come you and Jimmy don't make appearances on Conan O'Brien?
Well, we were never asked to be on Conan. We actually had our people approach Conan O'Brien. He has no interest in Opie and Anthony on his show. Maybe Jimmy. I don't know. I can't speak for Jimmy. Jimmy says nope as well. And this isn't about who's funnier or whose sense of humor you like more. I'm just looking at the situation, and I don't understand why people don't see it our way. And that's fine. It's fine. I can't argue it anymore. I give up. I do give up on this argument.
I've never been on Conan's show because it got to a point where, and again, it's not Conan. They don't walk up to Conan and go, "What do you think?" There's bookers and stuff, and they got to a point where I had done 7 Tonight shows. I had done 5 stand-up and 2 panel, and it all gone very well. And Letterman had booked me twice without making me run through. I mean, Letterman was very cool. They said, we'd like to see the set, we'll give you a date first. Conan's people, the guy who booked his comedy, wouldn't give me a date until I auditioned for him. And my manager would say, I told him all along, the guy booking for Conan does not like me. And I know he doesn't like me, and I'm not going to audition for him. If 7 Tonight shows isn't enough for him to go, yeah, you can come on and do stand-up. And then I would have showed him the set. It was like a principle thing. So, but I don't think that had anything to do with Conan personally.
Did a woman come out from back and hand you the tape back and just go, we like some of your stuff. Your one-liners are very strong, but we think you need more time in the comedy clubs.
That's funny.
That's really good.
I'll wait.
I'll wait.
Did Jerry listen to the tapes? Did Jerry listen?
Just sitting there like a douche.
Yeah.
Doesn't get the fucking hit. All right, Joe. Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right, guys.
Do you guys want to hear Conan?
No, sir, you're not on
Yeah,
the
I'm
list.
curious as to what he said.
Oh,
Yes, sir. I'll look at the list, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, you're not
No,
on the
sir.
list, sir.
You know, he wasn't an actor. All right, we know.
No, yes.
No shit, he wasn't an actor. Worst
Once
acting
more.
job ever.
You're not on the list, sir.
Sorry, sir. I don't want to play all these. I'm going to be honest with you.
What?
So, you got Conan did not think they would put Leno back in if he did poorly. Conan says NBC hurried him to make his decision in terms of leaving the show. Conan talks about his non-disclosure agreement, says he did not. All right, we'll start with the first one and see how this goes. Conan O'Brien on 60 Minutes last night. We're supposed to feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
He walked away with $32 million, and he's got a new deal with TBS. So
Booty who?
Less than 1 year after Jay Leno handed the Tonight Show off to Conan O'Brien, NBC decided to cancel Leno's disastrous primetime show and move him back into his old time period at 11:35 Eastern. Conan's Tonight Show, which was losing badly in the ratings to David Letterman, was to be bumped back to 12:05 the next morning.
Was it in the back of your mind that, look, if I don't do that well, they could just pop Leno back in?
I'm a paranoid person, and I think I'm the kind of person that can come up with lots of negative scenarios. But I remember thinking that seemed like that was a stretch, even for me.
He sounds gay when you just hear his audio. His voice sounds gay.
Jesus.
Just an observation.
People also have to remember he didn't get fired. He did leave. And again, I think they squeezed him out. But he actually could have kept the Tonight Show at 12:05, and he could have stayed and then really forced them to do something that was obvious if they had to.
They were squeezing him out.
I think so, too.
They wanted to save the money, so they're like, you know what, you could stay there, knowing that he would be kind of bummed about that and possibly would want to negotiate it out.
Yep.
Or he would have stayed there for long. They finally would have said, all right, beat it, stupid.
Scram.
Yeah. So, and I don't mean stupid in a bad way. I don't need the Conan fans calling now.
I actually like Conan. I really have no bad feelings towards the guy at all. I mean, he seems like a nice enough dude, and I think he did it a bad deal.
I do like his humor. I was telling Anthony, we were discussing this before the show, I think when he got the Tonight Show, he had to make a decision if he was going to go mainstream or not, and he decided not to. And I think that hurt him.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy. He will do very well at TBS, absolutely. But when you get the Tonight Show, I think you got to sacrifice some credibility, how you want to put it, and go a little more mainstream. And he wasn't really willing to do that.
Yeah, he's a little more niche.
That was the decision he made. And it didn't work out in his favor. His ratings were horrendous after 6 months.
The two guys that are angriest at Conan at Jay are Letterman and Conan. They're both guys who have the same job Jay does.
Yeah.
They're both great at it, and they both want to host the show Jay had. It's so obvious to me, like, why they're annoyed at him.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's like being annoyed that Howard has a bigger studio. Because it's a bigger studio. It'd be nice to be in that studio.
Wouldn't it?
But you know what I'm saying? It's like the same thing. It's so obvious as to why you'd be annoyed. I mean, I don't blame Letterman. I'd be annoyed too.
Right.
Yeah.
What followed were some unpleasant discussions with NBC's West Coast brass.
It just felt like the tone went very quickly from take your time, we understand this is a tough decision, to, let's go. And that probably helped me a little bit feel like, you know what, this environment doesn't feel right. And I've been with these people a long time, and I really don't like the way this is going. And when it started to get toxic and I started to feel that I'm not sure these people even really want me here, let's just, I can't do it.
Do you think they wanted you to leave?
Yeah, that's crossed my mind. I don't know how thought out this whole thing was, but if they wanted me to leave, it worked.
See, he chose to leave in the end.
Why didn't they just? If everybody wants to talk about why didn't Jay just leave? Why didn't Conan just go? You know what? Let's just stop this mess. The whole thing was a mistake. Jay at 10 was a mistake. Me at the Tonight Show. Let's just go back to doing what we were great at.
Mm-hmm.
Why would that? Because it would have been a little ego defeating.
Well, I was going to say, because you mentioned earlier that we all have egos. That's a tough one to swallow. If you're Conan O'Brien, to admit that it didn't work and go back to 12:30, I don't see it that way.
But why?
That would be rough.
It's like people are so fast to say, why didn't Jay just move on to greener pasture? And no, not one of those people says, why didn't Conan just go, fuck it, man, it's not working out. Jay was actually killing in this spot. Let me go back to 12:30, and he'll go, like, what was the big deal about that?
He probably wanted more time. They probably told him they were going to give him more time, and then when things were bombing, they went back to, but that's fucking the corporate world, man. Yeah. That's what you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
How embarrassing is it for Jay? 5 months and done. I mean, that's embarrassing for him, too. People think he didn't come out smelling like a rose.
No.
No thanks to me.
We've got this non-disparagement agreement. Do you have a copy? Because I haven't read it in a while.
I have a copy somewhere in my
keep one in my wallet.
Stop whining. Stop whining.
Funny.
Stop
Anytime
it.
people come up to me, hey, so what's the deal with Jay Leno? Hold on a second. He's a fine and good man. There we go. Put that away.
Can I assume that this interview would take a different tenor if that agreement did not exist?
No, I don't think it would. The biggest thing people come up and say to me in gas stations and restaurants, I have so many people say this to me, hey, partner, you got screwed. And I always tell them, no, I didn't. I didn't get screwed. I'm fine. It didn't work out.
Well, you did get screwed.
You think I got screwed.
Well, I think most people think you got screwed. I mean, Jay Leno thinks you got screwed. Jay Leno thinks he got screwed.
How did he get screwed? It's like that part to me. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Jay's got the Tonight Show. I have a beard and an inflatable bat. And I'm touring city to city. Who can say who won and who lost?
Holy shit, he's a little better.
I'm laughing because crying would be sad.
But he
he's not
doesn't-
whining, though. I'll say that. He's really not. I
He's
mean,
trying to make jokes.
Yeah,
well,
he's not whining.
whining because he now has a deal at the end of the road. Fucking,
Yeah.
you know, he's like, "Woe is me" in that statement, but he doesn't mention, "Well, I did get $32 million to grow this
Right.
beard and go on tour and with my inflatable. What was it? A bat?
A bat.
He forgot to mention the $32 million that
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he
How about
received
that?
as a walking away thing, and yeah, Jay got screwed initially. He was basically told to leave his number one slot. Are we done with this audio? Or you want to continue?
I'm only saying play it because it's fair, because it's like, you know, Leno
Has
got
Jay
hurt
reached out to you?
No.
No calls.
No, I do not think I'll be hearing from him. We should get him in here.
We should.
Is there gonna be a surprise walk on?
No.
Okay.
But he'd call if you know his number. I'm sure he'd come over.
He may have caller ID. He won't pick up.
I think Leno would say, "Look, I was riding high. I was number one, and I was still number one when I left. And Conan made this deal with NBC, and NBC said, okay, Jay, we're going to take you off the air in 5 years, regardless of whether you're number one or number two or what." Did he? I think he felt like he was forced out by NBC at a time when he was a strong number one and was pushed out the door. That's his argument.
It's hard for me to get inside his head and argue his side of this whole thing.
Deflect.
Well, here's what I can say.
That's a great question, Conan.
I'm happy with my decision. I sleep well at night, and I, hope he's happy with his decision.
Exactly, Jimmy. That's why I give up on the
My
argument.
hands are up in the air.
Exactly.
It's like, that really was a good question.
A great question. That's what Jay really does feel.
That was the point I had at least been making. I think anyone who's like kind of felt Leno got a bad rap.
Explain why Jay shouldn't feel that way, Conan.
Yeah.
You're right there.
And
on 60 Minutes, explain why Jay shouldn't feel that way.
Right, and that question right there.
That is the question.
Could have wrecked every argument I've had. Because if there was something contractually that I didn't know about, or something, whatever I didn't know about, but
that was the question of the interview. Right?
That was the question right there. Why should Jay not feel that he was forced out?
Right, and you deflected and just kind of moved on from a
Yep.
really good question. Why shouldn't Jay feel that way? You had your shot right there.
Like, let's be honest. Why not just come out and go, look, maybe he should feel that way, but I wanted it. My agent was able to get it for me, and that's that. I mean, that probably would have been the truth.
Do you think that Jay lobbied for this?
I don't know, but what I know is what happened, which is that he went and took that show back.
Do you believe he acted honorably during all of this?
I don't think I can answer that. I don't think. I can just tell you maybe how I would have handled it, and I would do it differently.
You wouldn't have come back on the Tonight Show.
If I had surrendered the Tonight Show and handed it over to somebody publicly and wished them well, and then I would not have come back 6 months later. But that's me, Everyone's got their own, way of doing things.
What would you have done?
Done something else. Go someplace else.
Come on.
Done something else, go someplace else.
Come on.
Cool.
Would you?
But you sort of pushed George Lopez to a later fucking slot. And George, I guess, is a different person. Come on.
Yeah, there's no way George Lopez is sitting there going, yeah, I'll take the audience that I've built up since
Feeling good
I
about the
started
show and where I'm at, and Conan wants to come here. Yeah, no problem. I'll move.
Yeah, I'll step aside.
No. When you're talking about egos, no.
I'll be the good Mexican.
No.
He must have a non-disparagement thing, though. The media was like, he bashed Leno. He didn't bash Leno at all. That wasn't bashing Leno. He probably has a non-disparagement thing in his contract. You can't trash them because he's not bashing anybody.
Conan's going to have Lopez deported, I hear. He's actually going to have him thrown out of the country. Wonderful.
Going to do a live broadcast from Arizona and hope
yeah,
for the best.
Yeah, and just watch him get arrested and thrown over the fucking wall.
Has Zucker called you?
No.
You haven't talked to Zucker since this offer was made to you?
That's right. At some point, I'm sure I'm going to bump into these people. And, you know, I'm not sure we're going to have our arms around each other and drinking beer and singing old Irish fight songs, because I don't think they know any. But, you know, I wish, this is going to sound crazy, I do wish these people well.
Jeff Zucker was quoted as saying, at the end of the day, the viewers voted, and they didn't like Conan as the host of The Tonight Show.
Can I take back what I just said?
You take issue with that.
That's funny.
In my opinion. I don't think that's fair or accurate, but he's entitled to his opinion. I think for anyone to say that the results were in after 6 months, that doesn't ring true to me.
Oh, they said that for the first time in history, The Tonight Show was losing money.
I don't see how that's I honestly don't see how that's possible. It's really not possible. It isn't possible.
All right, two things. First of all, it's not impossible. They were used to making a certain amount of money when Jay Leno had The Tonight Show, and that number was way down. So to them, they were losing money. Technically, they probably were making money, but losing money from where they were used to being, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, but I think they expected that. I don't think they expected Conan to come in and take up exactly where Jay left off. He was number one.
Right.
I don't think they expected that big a drop-off.
But I think it was it was a big enough drop-off where everyone got nervous. Like, we are losing money from where we were, and more than we thought we would lose.
5 months, though?
6 months.
Or 6 months? That's that's brutal.
I was going to go the other way with it. I think he said 6 months. I think 6 months is an eternity when you're talking about network fucking TV.
Yeah, but when you're trying to build a fucking talk show,
but it wasn't building. You had a guy that was with the company for many, many years. That many of the people were already familiar with Conan, what he had to do. If it was a brand new guy, then I would understand.
Yeah.
But they already knew what Conan was capable of doing when they moved him down.
I think that's the big difference.
So that's why
yeah.
I think 6 fucking months was an eternity in this situation. For a new guy, not so much. I agree with you. But someone like Conan, who was with the company a very long time.
Yeah, Jay was a new guy when he came in, so people like you get to know him. Do we like this guy? Do we not? But I think Conan has been famous enough where everybody knew whether they liked Conan or didn't like Conan.
Yeah.
Again, who the hell knows?
And
that said, executives like that, it is
NBC.
reprehensible.
Yeah. I mean, that's where everyone's in agreement. NBC really fucking dropped the ball big time in this whole situation.
You got $30 million that you didn't have before. You got a very lucrative new gig on TBS, which has an audience that
very young audience,
custom made for you.
George Lopez.
It wasn't all bad.
That's the point I keep making. It's
Lopez.
crucial to me.
What about George Lopez?
That
what about George Lopez?
Anyone seeing this take anything away from this. I'm fine.
Is George Lopez?
I'm doing great.
Is George Lopez?
I hope people still find me comedically absurd and ridiculous, and I don't regret anything. I do believe, and this might be my Catholic upbringing or Irish magical thinking, but I think things happen for a reason. I really do.
I thought the Lutherans believed that.
Oh, my God, it is Lutherans. Okay. I believe that if I experience any joy in life, I'll go to hell. That's what I believe.
All right. I officially give up, though.
Is that it?
Yeah, I really
Giving
do.
up?
I'm not,
It's official.
I don't agree with Conan's side or whatever, but I just give up on this argument. I'm done with it.
Is Mike Baker calling?
After the break.
Okay.
He's all set up for after the break.
Good.
So that's it with the Conan J thing.
Good luck to everybody, I say. Keep it nice, guys. Keep it fair, nice, cordial.
People are backing their guy. That's fine.
Ah,
I get it. I know. If you're a Conan fan, I get it. You're going to back your guy.
Yeah, to argue it is silly.
Even
people
in my,
they're not going to change their mind.
No one's going to change their mind. Even in my private thoughts, like, people think I'm just stumping for Jay. I literally can't comprehend how people see it another way. And it's not even just because I want Leno to hear that. Even when I'm alone with my fucking misery, I cannot comprehend it.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't get it.
Yeah.
All right.
Odd situation.
Here's the deal. Mike Baker, we're going to go back to the Times Square situation. He's
former CIA agent.
Right.
He's a very smart dude, and he has obviously a very good insight.
Awesome.
And he's coming in at the end of the month, too, but I think he's away right now.
Well, we figured, let's get him on the phone. If he's a guy we could go to, this is a perfect day to go to him, right?
Yeah.
And also, Geraldo, thank you for the heads up from one of the listeners. Geraldo explaining how you should do the bomb next time so it does explode. That's good.
Geraldo always
That's good,
willing,
Geraldo.
Always willing to help.
Right, so
Geraldo.
we got that.
It's the Opie and Anthony Show. It is the place to be. Opie and Anthony. What will happen today?
Fun, hijinks, hilarity, on some hilarity.
Observation.
You know your balls stink when you pull your scrotum off your leg and it sounds like a fruit roll-up.
Oh, my God.
Now that's hot.
Sorry to everybody out there expecting highbrow radio today.
Fuck you. Suck a big dick.
I love a fistful of asshole hair.
Opie and Anthony.
The Opie and Anthony Show. On the virus. XM.
Broadcasting, I don't know, 3 blocks from that situation over the weekend in Times Square.
Yeah.
Could have been crazy.
Crazy.
Now they're trying to find this dude with the horrible fucking balding pattern.
Whose car is that? Crazy.
The license plate was stolen from, what?
Connecticut, I want to say.
Connecticut? Yeah.
Connecticut.
Yeah.
That's the terrorist state, by the way.
Connecticut?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why
I'm
is
dubbing
that?
it now the terrorist state.
All right. Well, let's get an expert on the line here. Mike Baker, welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show, sir.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. Good morning.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Jim Norton in studio, of course, and he talks very highly of you, sir.
Well, he's got a terrible Jesse character, but I appreciate it very much.
Where are you now, Mike?
You know, I'm actually in the terrorist state of Connecticut, and we live out just outside New York City. And it's odd because you would think that a state that's got such screwed up gun laws would not allow somebody to pack all that explosive material into a Pathfinder, but apparently that is okay.
Yes.
Well, but the car didn't come from Connecticut. I think the guy just stole the license plate, and the car is from. Where's the car from? Do we know yet?
It's somewhere in Japan, made by Nissan.
Smart.
And Mike, could you give people a little background on you so they know who you are and stuff like that?
Sure. Yeah, I spent about 17 years with the CIA, all of it overseas. Started out in counterinsurgency, which is sort of what people think of in terms of paramilitary operations, and then moved into counter-narcotics and worked Southeast Asia and elsewhere. And then we shifted. Obviously, the big focus was on counterterrorism, where it stays today.
Pussy.
Yeah.
So you really haven't done much with your career yet, I see.
No, I'm hoping,
just getting started, huh?
I'm hoping for a big break with this segment.
What a wise ass! This guy's perfect for us.
So you're out now.
I am. Yeah, I got out and started a company with an old friend of mine who came out of the British SBS, their version of the SEALs, and we started up a business that's in intelligence and security risk management. So we do a lot of the same things we used to do, but for profit. So we do it for multinationals and financial institutions and dodgy governments.
All right, cool. So you had now when you heard that this happened, I heard about this. I was away. What was your first thoughts, or what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's interesting because something like this happens, and especially when they find out it's go figure, some crazy white dude potentially from the CCTV footage that they've been able to review. And there is a tendency, like with the underwear bomber or Richard Reed, the shoe bomber, there's a tendency to dismiss it as soon as someone says that it's a lone wolf, it's a single guy, particularly if it's a white guy. Yeah, it's some crazy. Well, yes, it is, but you don't need to be Lex Luthor to create a lot of death and destruction. And, the common factor with some of these recent incidents is that they haven't been able to put it all together. And the detonation of the explosive material, the accelerator, has always been the problem for them. And again, it was, last night. But just because it's an individual, and they have no idea, really. I mean, honestly, until they catch this guy, They don't know whether he had accomplices. They don't know what his motives or agenda was. But they do know that if this thing had gone off, it could have potentially been very damaging.
So do you think, now the security cameras, we were talking about that this morning, these surveillance cameras, you do see a lot of fun, and someone else pointed out, some listener pointed out smartly that that's what helped catch the London bombers, or that really helped track them, or at least it helped do something with the London bombers. Do you think that they're somehow negative, or are they more positive to have them in places like Times Square?
Oh, no, I'm a big buyer on surveillance and cameras and technical collection. And you're right, London's a perfect example. It's the most surveilled city in the world. There's cameras literally almost on every street corner. And, Times Square is somewhat monitored, but nothing like what they have in London. The problem we've got here is that, the current administration even said so. That at some point Obama came out and said, there's this false choice that the Bush administration went through about, between security and our ideals. Well, there's not a false choice. If you give up some security for civil liberties, then that's what you do. There's a trade-off. And so people, have a Jones about surveillance, they have a Jones about cameras, but at the end of the day, something like this happens, and the best evidence we've got besides that car, which is terrific because it didn't detonate, and so they've got a lot of forensic material in there. But the best thing we've got is the monitoring, surveillance.
It's funny what a dummy I am. I ask an ex-CIA guy, what do you think of surveillance cameras?
Not really into them.
I hate them. I hate that intrusion on our privacy.
Some people say that, though.
You got to think New York is catching up to London, though, because in this situation alone, they're saying 82 cameras might have caught this guy in Times Square.
Yeah, well, and again, because it was in Times Square, if it had been in other parts of the city, obviously this may not have happened quite the same way down at 125th in Harlem.
Right.
But it was very good that we had this. Now, another thing that we had going for us was, people are always interested in what the hell is happening. I mean, it's hard to sometimes understand, but you talk about surveillance, you talk about going out on the street and watching somebody. Well, that's not an easy thing to do because what have you got? You got the street vendors and everyone else, and anything that you're doing is more interesting than what they got going on at that moment. So we were very fortunate that there were some people that were aware, and they saw this guy. Now, the guy was also an idiot, and he parked his vehicle, right where it was going to block traffic and be an obvious problem. But it's still, we had that going for us. So the fact that
can I stop you for a second, Mike? Because you said we had the vendors that were aware and they saw the car smoking, whatever. Ant made the point earlier that if this thing worked properly, that wouldn't have mattered. This thing would have went off way before the vendors noticed the thing was smoking.
Right. No, that's exactly right. And again, so there's an element of luck here, and there always is. It doesn't matter what the operation is. In the old days, in the job, you plan all you want, you'd come up with your best ops plan and hey, this is how it's going to work. As soon as the whistle goes off, and of course you should never start an operation with a whistle. That's always bad. Right. But as soon as the bang goes off, everything falls apart, and it's never like you plan. Mm-hmm. So it's the same way for the terrorists. They do this now. The difference is the guys out in Afghanistan and Iraq. They're making bombs every day. I mean, they get it right just about all the time. Occasionally they'll blow themselves off, and lucky us. But the guys that are doing this Times Square bomb, as an example, he had an idea, he had an agenda, and he didn't have the experience. So we did get lucky.
What's your gut on this situation? Who is it? Is it a lone guy you thinking? Someone mad at the government? I mean, where are you at with this? With your gut?
Yeah, I think it's an individual. Again, I don't discount the importance of it because it's an individual. Right. I think he's the materials you have in there. A couple of propane tanks. You have like 70 pounds of fertilizer. There wasn't enough in there to some people. Everybody was a bomb expert last night. I was skimming around the channels, and it's like everybody in New York City had time making bombs. And, they were talking about the destruction of the entire eastern seaboard. Well, it wouldn't have done that, but it could have been bad. It's just that I think this guy is pissed off, like you said. I think he's angry about something. What it is, it's all speculation.
Taxes.
Until they bang him up, it's speculation.
Sure. And they will find them, right?
Oh, yeah. The pisser about most successful bombs is that it blows all the forensic material to hell. And so you've got to do a lot of recreation. This thing, they've got everything. There'll probably be receipts in there. from the purchase of some of this goods. They're going to be prints all over the place. There'll be connectors, wires. They'll be able to trace back the purchase of all the items. They'll have this guy. Again, yesterday, everybody was an investigative expert was saying, well, they're going to have him inside of 24 hours. Well, who knows?
Does that make you laugh when you're flipping around the TV and you see these dummies on TV claiming to be experts on all this?
Well, yeah, when it's like the Food Network, and you think, what?
The Food Network is discussing the bomb.
So, yeah. Suddenly we're gonna go to Comedy Central, and here we have it.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting, and that's the other thing. People are talking about. Well, maybe this is linked to South Park, and their insulting of Muhammad. Well, again, who knows? I mean, that's an interesting and entertaining theory. But if it's some white dude who's sympathizing with Islamic extremism, then that's a little odd.
Right. So do you? By the way, how long from when this guy left the vehicle was it supposed to go off? How long a period of time is that?
Well, I mean, who knows what he had set the timers for? He had two different timers in there, and who knows? I have no idea what the thinking was on his part. The fact that he dumped the vehicle indicates that he was aware he had a problem, and he probably had misset or somehow in transporting. One of those timers, maybe the activator or the initiator, had gone off, and he probably realized he didn't have time to find a place to put the car so it would be less conspicuous.
Oh, so that maybe he did realize there was something wrong, and that was a panic move, just dumping it right there.
Yeah, I mean, that's again, it's I'm always in love with my own ideas, and I think that's a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Why wouldn't he just drive away? Because he thought the whole thing was going to blow up while he was in it?
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting on 70 pounds of fertilizer, and he's thinking, well, I better just leave the car.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, obviously with a timer, it wasn't a suicide bombing, so.
Right, gotcha. So
right.
He decided to cut his losses like, fuck, there's a lot of evidence in this thing, but I don't want to blow my ass up.
Yeah, it's harder to recruit balding white guys to blow themselves up than it is sometimes disaffected Islamic extremists.
Right on.
That is true.
Hey, what's going to be the big attack in New York City? You think it's going to be the subways? Do you think they're going to eventually get us with the subways?
Well, I mean, that's a prime target. Yeah, I think that there's all this talk about a dirty bomb and biochemical attacks, and honestly, If what we're talking about is an attack from Islamic extremists, and I hate to keep mentioning that because apparently, we shouldn't be profiling. But if that's what we're worried about, then at some point they're going to devolve and just say, look, we just want to. For years there was a sense they had to beat the bar with 9/11, something more spectacular. Mm-hmm. But there's been a lot of success against Al Qaeda. A lot of their people have been taken out over the years. And so it's a very unusual organization right now. And I think what you may see, knock on wood, is that these guys are, going to start saying, well, let's just do what we can do. And there was some talk about that over the past year and a half. And we have seen that in some places overseas where, hey, an attack's an attack, let's just get it done. The subways are a prime target, large events, sporting activities, anything where for publicity is pretty much what they're looking for.
Why do you think, Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt you, why do you think there's been, nothing? I understand it's really hard to recruit suicide bombers in America, say, as opposed to, the West Bank. But why have there been none? Literally, there's been no car bombs here. There's been not one guy that walked into a mall and yelled something. Why have there been none? I mean, the police work can't be that perfect.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things that you could go right to. One of them is that the work is actually quite good. And, there's a lot of people that say, well, geez, how lucky can we be? Look at this, all these years and not another attack. Well, it's not really luck. It's not a perfect system when you talk about national security and homeland defense and all that, but the improvements that have been made over the years are pretty damn significant. And so there has been a lot of work. There have been a lot of operations and efforts that have been disrupted. A lot of people have been caught. And so that's a part of it. It's not a coincidence that we haven't had another attack. Another part of it is, getting some of these materials, like with the car bomb in Times Square, trying to use an M80, trying to use fireworks, to accelerate it, to help detonate an explosive, the way that they had put this thing together, is a pretty low percentage shot at the end of the day. And the reason they were doing that is because the other materials, det cord and everything that you would normally find if you were operating overseas in Afghanistan, if you're talking about terrorists, they're very controlled by the U.S. government. And so some of them, that material is really tough to get a hold of. And also buying fertilizer. You can't, after the Oklahoma City bombing, it's not like you can go out and say, I'd like a truckload of fertilizer, please. So.
And it's also, they kind of take notice. Like, what was it, nail polish remover that the guys were buying for something, and there's videotapes in every store of them making massive purchases. Was it nail polish remover? There was something.
Yeah, exactly. They were going off to all the various food supply stores, and that, of course, shouldn't ring any bells. But, So,
Mike, your phone's cutting out.
The fact is, people are pissed off by all the notion of Big Brother, right? Everybody hates it. But as soon as there's an incident, oh my God, who failed? Who screwed up? And usually they start kicking the CIA again. And then when it's quiet, everybody's all concerned about their civil liberties. So it's an interesting dynamic we've got here.
Yeah, that's ridiculous too. It's like, you're doing your job.
Yeah, but there's the typical thing. So as soon as this thing happened, one of the surprises, you say, what was your gut feeling? And my first gut feeling was, okay, I'm sure someone's going to say, somehow there was an intelligence failure. The fact that it looks like it's a balding white guy kind of mitigates that, and people are going to say, okay, fine, we understand why. But I guarantee if it had been a couple of dudes with beards, running out of that vehicle, the first thing would have been who screwed up.
So you find that, like, basically the CIA or the FBI or any organization is going to take the hit, but when something like security cameras are set up, people are going to go, well, you can't do that. So people say they want good police work, and while the security cameras may help constitute good police work, people are going to complain that it's a violation of civil liberties. It's almost like they want to just tie your hands and then complain when things don't get stopped.
That's exactly right, and whether it's that or whether it's phone intercepts. Remember the whole the hoo-ha over oh my God, the government's listening to all of our conversations. Well, honestly, the government doesn't care. I worked for the government for a long time. They don't care what the average person is saying on the phone. It doesn't matter. But if you start talking about a terrorist attack or planning an operation, then they're going to be interested, and they damn well ought to have the right to listen to your conversations and the people that you're dealing with. But for the most part, they just don't give a crap. If you don't go out there and do something that raises the suspicion, then they could care less. But people don't want to believe that. They want to believe that the government's interested in them personally.
Why are we so self-blaming in this country, too? Like, if something does get through and it blows up, it's always, oh, who fucked up, on our side? And we always want to blame ourselves, this country, instead of just going, they're the guys that we have to concentrate on, the terrorists, and they got one through, unfortunately, but we're trying.
Yeah, no, good God, it's right. I mean, it's the first thing we do is we start, beating ourselves over the back. Every time there's an incident or a problem, you're right. We do tend to go through this self-flagellation, and the next thing you know, someone wants to start up a commission to investigate because somebody's got to, lose their career over this because somebody, of course, had to screw up. And the guys that we work with overseas, our foreign partners in all of this, they look sometimes at this and they think, what the hell's wrong with you people? I mean, it's a job. It's not guaranteed that you're going to prevent every attack or you're going to stop it's not going to happen. Statistically, all you're doing is trying to minimize to the degree possible. But, at the end of the day, they're going to do something. And that's the second time I've said at the end of the day, and I promise I wouldn't.
It is end of the day. Every single person is overusing.
At the end of the day.
Oh, my God. Everyone.
Just say 11:59.
Everyone is using that one, so no, you don't have to apologize.
Hey, the NSA is even, to me, more secretive than the CIA, the National Security Agency? Is that what they're called?
Well, nobody knew that until you just said it, but okay.
Oh, Jim.
What exactly do they do?
Well, let me give you the rundown. What they do is what's the best way to put it? It's sort of the listening wing of the intelligence community. So these guys are out there. There's a human intelligence collection, right? So we're going to go out there. We're going to identify that somebody is providing support for terrorism. We're going to try to recruit that person through whatever motivation they may have, positive or negative, and get them on board to start providing intelligence. That's human source reporting. NSA focuses on technical collection. So whether it's intercepts or whether it's standard phone communications, satellite, whatever it may be, on the technical side, in sort of a simplistic way, that's what NSA does. Incredibly important, and huge amounts of information come flying in from all over the world, and they share it with our allies and it's all goodness in life. But they're a terrific organization, fantastic. But it employs a lot of smart people, and I was never smart enough to get anywhere near their building.
What time of the day does their day end?
usually about 5 o'clock. It's Friday about 4.
Just wanted to
Most
know.
of you are out the door to go play golf. So we shouldn't be worried at all. No, it's really about a 35-hour work week for most people in the intelligence community.
We're looking forward to you coming in. We got you in, I think, at the end of the month.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
When are you on Red Eye again? I know you were going to guest host for Greg.
Yeah, it's towards the end of the month. I think the 24th, 25th, and 26th of May. Yeah.
And when's your book coming out? Don't you have a book coming out that you... I thought he was coming in to promote a book.
I got a book. I got a book that's become a running gag with the people that represent me because we've been talking about this now for about a year. It's in about its 7th iteration. It's all based on shit that stuff that I learned at the agency.
Yeah.
And so it's coming out in hopefully in about 5 or 6 years.
So he's coming in
to be able to call it the
he's just coming in and talking
he's
about
coming in to
security
hang
stuff.
out
Yeah.
when he's in New York. All right, great.
All right, Mike, I'll definitely see you soon.
Thank you, Mike.
Excellent, man.
All
Thanks
right,
so much.
thanks.
Mike
Take care.
Baker, very good guest for the show.
Yeah, he's a
I
smart
wanna
guy.
call it the agency.
Fred M.
He
from
just calls it
Rochester.
the agency.
And
How
the
cool
job.
is that? The job, the agency.
Fred M. from Rochester, get ready, Ant. Hey, tell Anthony over there to get on his fucking knees and praise Obama for stopping yet another security breach during his administration. Bush didn't stop a single one, but Obama isn't going down that road. Not no way,
What?
no how.
What?
He's trying to get a rise out of Anthony.
What? Shut up.
This could have been a big deal if we didn't have Obama in office.
Obama's
is what he's saying.
administration is a nightmare to this country. That's like him just being in office is a nightmare. Please.
All right. Hey, we just had the expert on the line there, Mike Baker, and finally got the Geraldo audio.
Oh, good. Another expert.
Another expert with his take on the whole Times Square bomb thing. Listen to this.
Kevin Barry joins us, the former bomb squad guy, along with our own Dr. Michael Baden. So what about this bomb?
This device.
Why Michael Baden is Michael Baden depressed that the bomb didn't go off so he could be looking at dead bodies?
Oh, he would be in his coroner's office just looking at people riddled with car parts.
Right.
Of course. Oh, God.
He'd be sniffing it like it was a potpourri.
Cast members of The Lion King sprawled out on the table.
Right.
He's sawing their heads off.
Here's Mustafa with a bumper in his teeth.
Yeah, that ghoul doesn't use electric fucking tools because he really wants to enjoy every fucking
hand tool. Yeah, get that saw.
Get the old school saw out and just start sawing away that fucking ghoul.
Bomb. This device functioned, but it low-ordered. The improvised detonator.
You're saying it did function?
It did function, but it did not function as designed. The improvised detonator ignited, burned the low explosive powder, but failed to create enough energy to cause a detonation.
All right, so there you go. It should have ended there.
Malfunction.
But of course, Geraldo has to continue.
I will tell you.
I'll ask this, Michael Baden.
Listen to him.
Have you ever heard of someone attempting to use fireworks, in this case the M88s? They're a little less powerful than the classic M80s, the cherry bombs of my youth, now outlawed widely. M88s available in Pennsylvania, that's the closest here. Have you ever heard of someone trying to use a firework as a detonator?
Yeah, this has gunpowder in it, so that it could be used as a detonator. And I think what happened in this case, and the scary part to me, together with the shoe bomber and the underwear bomber, is in this case the detonating devices didn't work. And that's how we dodged the bullets. If the detonator devices start being made better, we're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, and now Geraldo will explain how to make a better detonating device.
Please tell me he doesn't go further into detail.
He already told everyone where they could get their M88s. I didn't know you could get M88s.
Oh, right.
M88s.
Right.
But tell me more specifically, Kevin, why the device didn't detonate. There was a plethora of wires. It wasn't amateur. There's all this wiring. Why didn't it blow?
We know there were two timing circuits with two clocks. One, they said, led back to the large container. It may have been, one was a arming device, which is a countdown timer. It's safe to move while it's in the vehicle. The second timer takes over after the device is armed, and that's a countdown timer. It's not the first time that somebody in New York trying to deliver an improvised explosive device has hit one of our fine potholes and caused the device to function accidentally.
Isn't that funny?
It's not the first.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
Hysterical. You think maybe he hit a pothole and it started up one of the timers, and the guy freaked out.
Ah, shit.
Maybe.
All right.
I wonder if he was going into. You know what? He may have been parking. He may have been wanting to go into a parking garage. Because maybe it would have done more damage there. Maybe he was going to a specific parking garage.
Maybe.
And then finally this.
But, I still, if you're going to go to all that trouble, I just came back from Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, they use a 9-volt battery for a detonator that seems to work every damn time one of our vehicles rides over it. Why didn't they spend another $2 for the 9-volt instead of the M88s?
It's not the 9 volts. They can't obtain the detonators and the commercial explosives in our country because it's so well controlled by the government.
Igniters.
I think that is a very good point. And I also think, Bo, the fact that there was fertilizer in there, but only 70 pounds of it, I think the guys that sell the ammonium nitrate in this country after Timothy McVeigh are pretty hip about not selling it unless it's to Farmer John.
Well, I mean, they're aware. They're aware that it is a concentrate
Farmer
that
John?
can form an explosion.
The only guy?
But again, when we're talking about Afghanistan, we're talking about people who have their hands on real explosives over there, and they're trained, fully trained.
Yeah.
That's all they do is blow things up. This is a person that all of a sudden wanted to, and obviously he didn't know what he was doing. Thank God he didn't know what he was doing.
Thank God.
I just
Thank
saw
God.
the ugliest woman alive.
I was looking at her, too. I know. That was a weird-looking woman.
Rear Admiral Sally Bryce or something. Can you look her up? Wow.
Rear
I
Admiral.
thought it was a guy in a wig.
She had to
Really?
be a man.
She had to be, dude. I agree.
I would have to say she was a man.
She couldn't be a chick.
That was unbelievable.
She's too weird looking.
So there you go. There's Geraldo kind of helping people along a little bit.
Yeah. Get that 9-volt battery.
Yep.
Maybe a rocket igniter.
We got Geraldo on the line. Geraldo.
How you doing this morning, gentlemen?
Hi,
This is
Geraldo.
from Times Square, and there's a man over there. God damn it, cameraman, look over there. There's a man in that car lighting a cigarette.
There you go. Geraldo Rivera, everyone.
Well, she's atrocious.
Holy shit.
This broad is brutal.
Rear Admiral.
Terrible.
Wow.
She looks like a guy wearing a hat wig. She looks like a guy wearing a hat with little blonde hair in it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, she's an abomination.
She's terrible.
Wow.
Got
Who
the
does
old
she look-
Mrs. Brady hairdo.
Who does she look like? What guy does she look like?
Almost like that Cromwell, that actor, James Cromwell.
James Cromwell.
Is that his name? Yeah, she looks a little like him.
All right.
What a disaster.
Oh,
she
she's
is.
not a pretty woman. I wonder if her husband fucks her and thinks of other attractive admirals like James Stockdale.
Admiral Halsey. Yeah, see? Does kind of look like him.
Wow, good call.
Yeah.
Put a little wig on him.
Yeah, see?
That's pretty close.
She is ugly.
Oh,
UGLY.
They call him a rear admiral probably because everybody's going to stand back there near the rear and go, don't look at me or something.
The fact of the matter is that if you're going to take a common household item like a timer and turn it into a component of an improvised explosive device, you sort of do have to break it. So it's not really surprising to people in the bomb tech community that it was broken.
So I guess for those of us who don't know that much about bomb making, I mean, it doesn't have to be something that's very high tech. It can be crude, putting it all together, right?
Well, again,
I mean, and do you think what this guy had was enough to cause a lot of damage in the area?
No, it turned out to be non-functional. By that I mean the explosives, quote unquote, the fertilizer there was not of the correct grade to be a blasting agent grade high explosive. And that's what's in the vial that appears on the table.
What is the
That's
point
a training
of
aid. None
explaining
it is,
how to do
real
this
at all in there.
properly?
They need
It's just
something
a
to say. They feel important being on
appearance of
TV.
what ammonium nitrate prills may in fact look like. He didn't have ammonium nitrate prills. He went and got fertilizer from wherever it was obtained.
You got like horse
How do they
shit.
figure out how much damage this bomb
Tapes of
could
this
have
show
done?
in the back of his truck. He has this stinky truck.
He just thought fertilizer would work. He went to a home and garden
After
place.
some of the
Some
horrific
topsoil.
bombings that did occur in the United States.
You know what? Mike made a good point. I didn't even think of the forensic evidence that you wouldn't think to cover up because you're expecting it to explode.
Yeah.
I didn't even think, oh, yeah, fingerprints that are going to be there because you probably wouldn't be as protective
Yeah.
thinking that, if I may say, is going to go kablooey.
And they're amazing even after it goes kablooey with picking up the little pieces and knowing exactly where they came from, what the fuck kind of car it was, where it was made, where it was bought, the VIN numbers, like all that shit. Yeah. And the VIN number was taken off, like it's usually down by the left side of your windshield or the right side. That was removed. Like he thought he was being smart by taking that out.
Right.
Meanwhile, it's on another 10 places on the car. It's like on the engine block.
Oh, really?
And then there's certain hidden places that the VIN number is. So this guy just seemed like a dummy.
It's on the roof. It's Vin's car. My buddy Vin said that once.
Oh, shit. Hey, Vin's number.
Didn't Geraldo also like have the cameras and lights on the shore of? Remember that fucking story? We were invading somewhere and Geraldo was already there.
Oh, was
waiting
that,
for them
like,
to come ashore?
Grenada or
and they started coming close. Someone helped me out, and they turned on their
turn those fucking lights off.
They got all pissed off because all of a sudden the cameras went on with the big lights, so they could fucking film the whole fucking invasion.
Yeah, they're like Navy SEALs are coming out of the water,
and there's Geraldo turning on his fucking
Somalia
camera.
or something.
Help me out. Where was that?
He is a
find that
dumbbell.
story. He's yeah. It's not a,
giving away arm positions.
He's done that before.
He's just a fool.
Him and his dumb maps. Well, what we're gonna do Monday? It's always like this is what we're planning on doing. We'll find that story as we go to break, I guess. Dave Winfield will be here soon.
Yes.
Within the half hour, maybe less. Very cool.
He's promoting. His mom died of breast cancer, so he's promoting a breast cancer, I think, organization.
Right.
I don't know all the details, but actually, I know none of the details other than what I just gave. Do you like when I don't know what I'm talking about? I say I don't know all the details. Like, there's a lot more that I do know, but I'm just not revealing. I know nothing.
Well,
Dave will be here, and he's promoting a good cause.
We'll know a lot more when he gets here and explains. Also, this oil slick, we should talk about that.
Apparently, he played for the Yankees.
It's on the one sheet.
Seems to be.
We'll do some oil slick shit next, man. I don't know. Is God telling New Orleans something?
Wow.
Because this is, heading right for the shores of New Orleans.
Not only there. I mean, this is...
all the way up and down the fucking coast there, right?
They've canceled all fishing in the Gulf.
That's unbelievable.
Like you can't go fishing, shrimping or anything like that in the Gulf now.
And what they're saying... we'll get into it next.
Yeah,
we'll get the latest details on
like
the oil
crazy.
slick. But stay there.
Hey everybody, this is Geraldo. And now, to demonstrate the proper use of a verbal crutch during a celebrity interview, here's comedian and radio personality James Norton.
So do you get, do you get people trying you wherever you go? Like, you can go from like, which is what I was surprised at. Like, so what happens? Like, was there a point in that fight where you were like, had you trained enough for the, I mean, like, cause like, did you find that at all? Like, what was the first thing? Like, I think to take a champion's belt, I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, he seemed like he wanted to really, like, have you ever had a guy in the ring that you wanted to, because that went, like, how do you feel? Like, because there was, you come from a pretty much, like, what motivated you to fight? That to me is almost more impressive. Like, did you want to retire at any point? Like, and then all of a sudden you're like, I was amazed to read this too. Like, what is the, oh, you gotta go? Thanks for coming in, man. We're happy to have you.
Congratulations! You now possess the skills necessary to sound like a bumbling ass in front of celebrities. Thanks for your time.
Are you looking to fuck some animals? Then come on down to Anthony's Bestiality Bonanza for our Sign and Violate event. For a limited time only, enjoy some of the finest alien breeds we have to offer at half price. Just listen to fellow animal lover and founder Anthony Cumia.
I became quite close to a horse about 8 years ago. Once he was comfortable enough with me, I got to work on his amazing cock. Sucking his cock and being sprayed with his cum was the best experience of my life.
We've got everything from Arabian to thoroughbreds to American saddlebred to Mustang. Too many choices? Anthony will help you decide.
Stallion penis tastes great. Semen tastes okay, but it's pretty strong. Not something I enjoy. Now, Pre, on the other hand, is the nectar of the gods.
And now, folks, for a limited time only, we're offering Anthony's personal favorite, ponies, which he knows you'll enjoy.
I did, and it tasted awesome. His cum was fairly salty, sour, and hot as hell. Drool.
Do you have a cock? Do you have a pen? Well, then we've got animals for you to fuck. So come on down to Anthony's Bestiality Bonanza. You won't be disappointed with our selection.
I would recommend it. Heart sign.
Opie and Anthony Show on the
Oh, right on. I know why Travis is playing this.
Oh.
No?
Why was he?
Well, the ugly broad looks like Geddy Lee.
Oh,
Good call.
We missed the. I don't know. If,
I thought it was for the Habs because they're Canadian.
the Habitants.
She does look like Geddy Lee. Good call, man.
The fucking
Yeah.
Canadians hanging tough with the Penguins. Series tied at 1 game apiece.
Wow.
That's pretty impressive right there, my friends.
The Canadians.
The Canadians are hanging tough with Crosby and the Penguins. Bruins
Jesus.
beat the Flyers there over the weekend.
Yeah.
I was at a wedding on what day was it? I guess Saturday, and they decided to have the Flyers Bruins game during the wedding. So we're all in the pews, just getting fucking hockey updates because there's a lot of nonsense before they actually go. And for the first time, here's the blah blahs.
Was there a letter from the Corinthians?
I think there was a letter from the Corinthians. There was a
someone
few
had to get up and read.
All fathers.
That letter from the Corinthians is always in there.
It's a treat, isn't
We
it?
know it already.
Every single time, it's
Enough
a treat.
with the Corinthians and their letters.
A lot of downtime at the wedding ceremony in the church. A lot of downtime. So we're all
Yeah.
on our Blackberries, iPhones, and a couple droids.
I bet
getting the hockey scores.
I bet the priests hate that.
What?
Like that people can just text in church. Like you're supposed to be sitting there and listening to his drivel, and you're just texting or checking, sports scores
You know what?
and twittering and.
Father Vince was terrific, but there's only so much you could do with the same stuff we've heard a million times.
Why doesn't he just stand up there and tweet his sermon, and everyone could just check their Twitter, and it'll be totally silent?
You know how many followers God would have on Twitter?
Oh my God! Wouldn't God have
Couple
a lot?
hundred, I'm thinking.
Perhaps too.
That's about right. I think a couple hundred there would be about
Couple hundred.
right. Go Flyers, P-roll saying.
God. And then
Well-
he actually would be taken, so he'd have to put the real God.
Yeah. Yeah. Or God. I couldn't think of something else. Why don't I just shut up?
There you go. Let's go to Mikey in New York.
Fuck Mikey.
Mikey.
Hey, what's going on, boys?
What,
Hey,
Mikey,
Opie,
what?
I want to know how you feel about the Flyers.
Well, I mean, obviously, I got a lot of friends and family down in Philly, but that doesn't make me a Flyers fan, my friend. I'm an Islanders fan.
Come on.
I really am an Islanders fan, but you got my old coach there, Laviolette, is a fine coach, so you guys are in good shape. But, I mean, you're down 1-0 with the Bruins there.
I'll tell you what, though, we played amazing against New Jersey, and
You did. What position do you play, dude?
I think we had too many days off.
What position do you play?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're saying we. What position?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you I don't mind the we. Come on.
I hate the we.
You hate the we?
Hate the we.
Yep.
Why? You didn't like all the phone calls, people congratulating you because the Yankees won the World Series?
That's stupid. Why congratulate me?
Because you're a big fan.
You know, we put up a good fight last night. Did you see? We took it right into the end. And no.
Most sports talk and cliches suck a dick. I agree, but the we I don't mind as much.
Yeah,
and I don't mind when people call you to congratulate you because your team won something.
Do you hate
big.
putting their game face on?
I hate all those sports
Do you
cliches.
hate they came to play?
I hate that.
How about they left it all on the field?
Oh, God,
That's a good
I
one.
hate
How about that's a no-brainer?
Oh, I hate that.
You know, how about they played with a lot of heart?
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
A lot of heart.
I gave 110. Oh, no, not that
110%.
one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
So, we still got some good hockey out there, and the Sharks lead the Red Wings 2 games to zip, I guess. LeBron James wins his second straight NBA MVP award. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah?
And he's hinting
King
that
James?
He's starting to hint that he might just become a Knick next year.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Well, every time LeBron
But what
James...
about that bum elbow? Oh, my God. All you could hear about was his elbow.
Well, his elbow is doing okay. He'll
He's
be
in
fine.
it's in pain. They don't know what it is. The elbow. What about the elbow? Something about his elbow.
You know what? I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah.
Really?
Something about his elbow.
Something's wrong with his elbow?
Yeah, he's wearing something on his elbow.
Uh-oh.
And they say he's in pain, but they did a scan and everything like that, and MRI, and they
can't figure
can't
it out?
figure out what it is. So that's it. Career ender.
Maybe maybe he's playing a little possum there.
He'll go to the Knicks right when he sucks.
No, he's got so many years left.
Not with that elbow.
He's got LeBron's elbow. There's an actual fucking Twitter account. LeBron's elbow.
It's all they would talk about.
LeBron James' elbow has 3,500 followers, which you think could be more for
It's
for an elbow.
It's probably
LeBron's
actually just
elbow.
someone posting like that. It's not his elbow.
Oh, literal Jim.
But every time he talks, they're trying to decipher what he's saying. And now, after the last time he talked, they're like, yeah, it's obvious he's going to be a Knick. He kind of said it in there. It's all vague and
Wouldn't they need more people than just him to make the Knicks
Well,
a good team?
Of course.
I would think. And I don't know anything about
Of
basketball.
course. So we'll see what happens. But, I mean, they're still playing playoff basketball.
Yeah. Goes on forever.
Bless you.
Wow, that was messy. What the hell was that?
Enjoy the mic, whoever uses it
Oh.
after me.
Hey.
Stupid fucking allergies. Enough of this goddamn pollen already. Enough. What else? Sports. Do you do the Kentucky Derby yet? Not really?
Not really. If I'm kind of buying OTB and I remember, I'll place a wager.
Yeah.
But, wow, what a muddy track.
Yeah.
It was really slappy.
Did you see it?
No. But I saw, before it. So I'm, tending to the track. And then I saw all the pomp and circumstance and hoopla with the stupid broads and their dumb hats.
Yeah.
Those hats.
You don't like the Kentucky Derby hats?
No, I hate the hats. They're giant, big, stupid, Easter bonnet-y looking hats. And they got to wear their dresses. Now, look, those girls right there are hot.
Well, those are the Hef girls
next door.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice.
The second batch of the girls next door sucked.
I thought they were propping up a
big
dead
fail.
horse from the Derby, but that's just Hef.
Were you a fan of the girls next door, that little
No.
show they had?
No.
And then all the girls fucking moved on and realized it was really gross and creepy to be fucking an old man, so they had to go move on with their lives.
moved
And they
on?
brought a whole new crew in, and the new crew sucks. There's nothing interesting about them.
Kinda
And they're
hot.
not even that hot as far as Playboy goes in. I mean, you got to keep it in mind. It's Playboy.
Yeah.
I think they could have got some hotter broads to fuck that old creep.
Look at their dumb hats. That's like the big thing for the Derby.
Those are conservative hats, though. Google
Yeah, those
image,
are.
Google
Google
image Kentucky Derby fucking hats.
Kentucky Derby hat.
They're awful.
And make sure you put fucking in there. Kentucky Derby fucking
look
hats.
at what is that? Look at this dumb fucking fat broad. What is that? With that hat, and people are probably like, "Oh, nice hat." And she just sucks off one of the horses. Fucking big load of jizz on that hat.
She's got a whole float on her head.
Yeah, that is. It's a float.
It's a float.
Oh, and here's a decorative hat on a guy.
It's fun.
No,
He's
it's
wearing
not fun.
Kentucky
Oh,
Derby.
Sam.
What's fun about it?
The steeples on his head.
Fun way to celebrate.
Some roses. Roses.
As
I
we
want to
get
remove it.
as we get more
Yes.
dumb hats, Tim and George is going to answer your basketball question. Tim,
Oh,
go
yeah?
ahead, real fast. Yes.
They're trying to pick up Dwayne Wade from the Heat. Also, the Knicks are.
Yeah, Knicks
I
are going to
don't
be
know
picking
Dwayne
up some.
Wade.
Knicks are going to be picking up some big time players in the offseason, whether it's LeBron or somebody else. They're gonna fucking finally move forward with their damn team. So
There is a
Thank you, sir.
stupid flamingo
Yeah.
on that woman's hat.
that's a woman.
Yeah.
I wish
You really tell it's a woman.
I wish it would bend its neck down and pluck her eyes out like in the birds.
Yeah.
Just black holes in her head.
Or it had fucking bird flu. Just
Yeah,
sneeze
give
in her
the bird
face.
flu.
Little beak open.
Yeah.
A bird snot all over your eyes.
Look at that hat. Ed.
It's a
These
big,
are nice
dumb,
hats.
polka dotted material with some big. They're stupid.
Matches her
Do you
outfit.
think it's just as annoying as walking around Manhattan when it rains with everyone's umbrellas poking you in the eye? You think during the Kentucky Derby these hats are getting in the way?
There is no courtesy as far as umbrellas go,
No.
and it's only gotten worse.
I
as
punch
the
umbrellas.
get bigger.
I
Do
punch
ya?
them.
That's probably a good thing.
No,
to do.
I really do punch them down.
Oh.
And then they give me a look. I'm like, well, it was either that or you were going to poke my eye out. So deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with
What
the
was
punch
that
to your
last one you
umbrella.
just showed? What was that
Oh.
last one? That gentleman with a hat on.
He had
at the
horses
Kentucky
on his
Derby.
hat.
Shouldn't he be holding a lantern
Oh,
outside?
see,
I don't know why
what? You made him
say
go
that.
back just to do a racist joke.
No,
See
I was
what you
just
did
saying
there?
that he should have a lantern.
See what
right?
you did?
I don't think
It looks
he-
like a birthday cake on his head.
It does look like a birthday cake.
Yeah.
It's it's a straw hat with some roses around it and horses on top of it and horseshoes.
His
for
hat
luck.
looks delicious.
It really
I want to
does.
eat his hat.
Google lady wearing bag KY Derby. I don't know. What
Lady wearing bag KY Derby.
She has a scrotum on her head.
It should be Kentucky Derby, maybe. That's.
I don't
what
know, but he said KY, so maybe that's the way
Well,
to get
let's
to this
see.
picture.
No,
Just another goofy
she's
hat.
just a goofy hat.
Yeah, Mark in Connecticut, help me out. Too many images come up. Which one are we looking
Who
at?
is that bitch?
All right. So, well, we should have played.
Hate the hat.
We should have played "Dead Flowers" by the Rolling Stones today.
Ah, that would have fit in.
Mm-hmm. Do you know why, Ant? Do you know why?
Because the winner of the Derby was called Dead Flowers?
No.
I have no idea.
There's a line in there that says Kentucky Derby Day.
Oh, really?
You got
I had
dead
no
flowers? I think it's like one of the first lines.
You know, short people with the umbrellas are really dangerous because they can't lift it over your head.
Right.
And they're the worst. And it's usually little Asian women.
Right.
That are just shuffling along with those fucking
Most people listening to us are like,
removers.
why are you wasting time with this? But in Manhattan, there's so many people that you can't avoid these people with their big, huge fucking umbrellas.
The whole sidewalk is just covered with them.
Yeah, look at that.
That's a
big
giant umbrella
That can't be
that's
real.
covering the entire woman. That's got to be forced perspective.
It's covering the entire sidewalk.
Yeah.
She's dry.
Kenny tries to hold the umbrella over my head when we walk to the parking garage, and I'm like, just please don't do that.
Yeah.
I wear a hood. I don't care if I get wet for half a block.
It's creepy.
It really is just creepy. Big Kenny holding an umbrella. And it's too high. He's so tall that it's too high up and you still get wet.
Well, because, yeah.
Because
It goes sideways after it falls past the
drops
umbrella.
Just
right.
completely
Right.
missed the umbrella.
Hey, did you watch the big fight?
Mayweather Mosley, no.
Dominates?
Jesus.
Mayweather dominated Mosley?
They said Mosley really hurt him, I think, in the second round. He really
I didn't
wobbled
watch
him.
the
I did
fight.
not see it either.
I'm Mosley.
Wins 12-round decision, stays undefeated.
41-0.
Undefeated in 41 fights. That's pretty impressive. Major League Baseball Players Union opposes Arizona immigration law.
Who gives a fuck what they think for it or against it? And now Ozzie Guillen might not go ahead, boycott it. Who gives a shit?
Wait, he might what?
Boycott the All-Star game. Who cares? You fucking guys hit a ball. Who gives a shit what you think of social policy?
That's true.
Well,
big deal.
Well, the All-Star game thing, congressman's getting involved, wants MLB to move 2011 All-Star game from Phoenix. That's next year, right? So we're a year away.
Why? Who cares?
They don't like the policy.
A lot of people don't like the Arizona thing.
It's none of their fucking business. It's none of their fucking business. It's like they made a law, and that's it.
Yeah.
Play your stupid game.
How many illegal immigrants are playing in Major League Baseball?
8.
I would like to know.
8.
There are none. I'm going to guess there's none. There's not one. I'd like to know how many illegals play in Major League Baseball.
There's either 8 or none. I'm not really sure.
I'm going to guess none. But how many of them do?
Good point. Oh, my God. This guy's not asking this. Dave on Long Island. Dave?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Hey, Dave.
Listen, my brother-in-law texted me the other day. He said to check out AC Transit bus fight. It's a 67-year-old man having a discussion with a black dude, and they get into this thing where the white guy was having his shoe shined by a black guy. Black guy got all offended about it.
Yeah.
And he started in with the old dude. Old dude
Come on.
67-year-old dude hands this guy his ass, bloodied up and everything.
How do you know he's 67?
Yeah, that's impossible that a 67-year-old white guy is going to beat a black guy. Where did you see this video?
It's on YouTube. Check it out.
Come on. How many
Not
people?
even-
Is it a
I
video
didn't
people
really-
have even seen? Is it one of these like how many hits has it gotten?
He gets a lot of good hits in. I'm not even kidding. I checked it out.
Does anyone know what this guy's talking about?
I've never seen this one.
I know how you call Danny the king of the internet.
Right.
But I just found this video.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, but it's not worth playing.
Now, wait a minute.
Who's actually paying attention
A black
to this video?
guy's on a bus,
Yeah.
right?
Wait, have this guy explain it, Anthony.
Dude.
Well, I can
Walk
only
us through
explain
the
it-
video,
Yeah.
Dave.
Explain what happens, because I can't believe this.
Well, finally, there was a conversation going on with the white guy, the older white guy, saying that he got his shoe shined by a black dude. Black dude gets all offended, said, "You know what? I'm gonna whoop your ass. It's bullshit. It's racism." Blah blah
That sounds
blah.
epic.
One thing leads to another. Words were done. The guy gets in the black dude gets in the white guy's face. The older white dude just taps him, dude. Just fucking.
Are you
cracks-
kidding me?
I'm not even kidding.
Why
Ed,
haven't we
check it out.
seen
You'll love
this?
it.
Where has this video been?
Jesus. Did it just happen?
Yeah, it must have happened over the weekend, I guess.
I guess, yeah.
I heard about it at the end of last week. So
End of last week?
All right, so it's been out there a couple.
Wow.
Why didn't you call us
Yeah.
then, dude? This is
Yeah, we like getting it when it's fresh.
Right, we like to be on top of
If
things.
it's already a week old,
it's not even worth talking about. I'm thinking.
Wow, dude, I apologize for that, boys, but I'm passing it on now. It's Monday morning. I'm starting fresh.
Yeah? You have any reports on the Hindenburg, dummy? I hear it exploded over Lakehurst, New Jersey.
Get boys and punching out. Take care.
But you can't punch out. You're in a crater.
Exactly.
You're in a crater burning.
Is he really bringing up a video that we've talked ad nauseum
Oh
about?
my God! We played it. We talked about it. We fucking
reenacted it.
Yeah, everything.
I'm proud because I used that properly. I used to say at nauseum.
No, you didn't. I don't believe you said ad nauseum.
It's ad nauseum.
Only maybe a year or two ago, I realized it was ad nauseum.
You thought nauseum was a place?
at nauseum. Yeah, pathetic, I know. Hey, Tiger Woods. Okay, we get to Tiger Woods. This fucking guy, failed miserably over the weekend. Matches his worst 9-hole score in his PGA career. Shoots 7 over par. Misses the cut for only the 6th time in his 14 years on the tour. One time he missed the cut was because his dad died. So
yeah,
he rarely, I should say, missed the cut, and he did just that this past weekend.
They must hate when he misses the cut. There's just so much less people going to be interested.
Oh yeah,
I didn't watch after that, and I like taking a peek at the PGA thing. And Tiger, I guess the National Enquirer is saying that he admitted to sleeping with 120 women, 120, maybe 121.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. And Elin is now going to divorce him. She's had it, and the reason is that he admitted to 121, I think, and then number 120. Wait,
no, it was 120, 121.
Okay, thank you. So he admitted to his wife that he slept with 120 women. Never mentioned the fucking.
Who was the one?
The one was the neighbor where he was banging next to the crib allegedly and all that.
Oh, the babysitter neighbor thing.
Or whatever. And that was
it
the one that set her. That was the one where she said, you know what? That's
Wow.
what people are saying. I don't know how true it is, but I guess he sat down and told Elin it's 120 women, and then that one came up, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that one to you."
Who blabbed about this? If he told her this in a rehab, it's the counselor. Who the fuck?
I don't know.
Blabbed this.
You sucked 37 dicks, including me. 38
Clerks
in a row.
Clerks, right? Clerks?
Yeah.
I like guessing. It makes it fun. So and that's that. That's your latest Tiger news right there. This oil slick, what do you got on it?
Oh my God, what a catastrophe this is!
Are they saying that it's going to take 3 months to contain this thing?
They don't even.
And how
know.
much fucking oil could possibly leak from this thing?
It is pumping out like thousands of barrels of oil
a day.
A day. It was a deep sea oil rig, and that thing blew up, and it's supposed to have some kind of a valve that when the pipe breaks, it shuts off. That didn't happen. It didn't work. Wow. So it's leaking a lot. Wow. And they don't even know how to stop it. They've sent some of those little submarine, little remote control things trying to get the valve to close.
But how do you even see the valve with all that oil just like spilling out on top of you?
Some
Earl.
Earl is spilling.
How deep down is that?
Over a mile, I hear. What happened? Oh. Ant's on the phone with.
Speaking. Oh no.
Ant, who the fuck is that?
Shut up.
Who the fuck is
Right,
that?
the guy's from a garage. They're not going to care if you curse in the background, dummies. Take your call. Yeah, I'm on the air right now.
Yeah.
You're not, but yeah.
He's on the air with a big cock in his face. This is the Lucky Devil show.
Jimmy Norton. He's an idiot.
Yeah. Who's that faggot on the phone? Hey, garage bitch, fix his car.
You said he wouldn't care.
Yeah.
You did say he wouldn't care.
I said he wouldn't care, but I have to hear what he's saying.
Fix his car, garage bitch. The star needs his car fixed.
And that's only something Anthony was telling us earlier, that you're a garage bitch.
Come on, you grease monkey. Fix that car before I fuck you in the face.
Fix the millionaire's car.
Fantastic.
Is it fantastic?
Yeah.
What's
Yes.
fantastic?
I don't think anything's been done yet. But
Oh,
Yes.
nothing's been done yet?
Yes. They said we found the Polaroids you were taking at the schoolyard. They were under the passenger seat.
Oh, that's fantastic.
What's fantastic,
Rental
Anthony?
car. Oh, I thought you were calling about my car.
Oh, it's the rental car company?
Oh, the rental.
This is not a garage. This is Enterprise.
Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, it's great.
What? They're just checking on you to make sure you're enjoying your rental?
Yeah.
And why do you have a rental car? What happened?
My Mustang is on the fritz.
But what?
I went to take the.
You spent a lot of a
lot of Mustang on that money.
A lot of money on that Mustang. It shouldn't be on the fritz. What happened? How could that be on the fritz?
I went on a road trip, and when I arrived,
but you
I
don't like
took the Mustang.
You don't like going on road trips.
No, I liked driving the Mustang. Over the weekend, it was really nice. The weather was nice.
How far was the road trip?
A couple 100 miles.
You don't like doing that.
Nah, it wasn't bad.
You don't like being in a car that long.
No, I really do. The Mustang's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice weather.
Nice.
Just cruising.
Nice.
And then this light came on that said, check charging system with a cute little battery light. Aw. So I'm just driving going, uh-oh. And I'm about 30 miles outside of my destination when that light came on. I made it the 30 miles, and then everything all these other lights started coming on because there was no power. So the computer was thinking like everything was wrong. The ABS brake light came on and everything. And then everything just conked out and shut off. The engine was still running and got me like into the parking garage.
Yeah.
But the headlights wouldn't work. I couldn't roll the windows down.
Jesus.
Like nothing worked. The speedometer wouldn't even work. So I called up a shop and get the stroke of luck that this was. You know, taking lemon, making lemonade. There's two places that do Shelby conversions in the United States of America. One is in Las Vegas. One was 5 miles away from where I am, or was.
Wow. Where the Mustang broke down?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
They sent a flatbed. They picked it up.
Right.
I took a little tour of the place. There were Shelbys all over the shop, and really nice ones and everything. The guy tried to sell me rims.
You're
So
really not.
that was like 5 miles away.
Hold on. But you're not helping the Shelby by saying, yeah, I took a tour and there's Shelbys all over the place, meaning Shelbys that are all broken.
They do the conversions.
All right, you should explain that.
Yeah, they do the
You're making
conversions.
it sound
They
like
weren't all
this
busted.
Shelby is a fucking lemon.
Nah, they were doing conversions. I don't know what happened to mine. I'll probably get to see what happened, but I guess it would probably be the alternator or something like that. You can't work on cars by yourself anymore, and I wasn't going to take it to some dummy at some garage.
Where do they do Shelby conversions? Can we look this up?
And what do you mean? What do you mean anymore? That would mean that at one time we did, or I did. I certainly never worked on my car. I tried changing the oil.
I worked on my car a lot back in the old days.
Even when I had no money, I had enough money to go to a fucking Jiffy Lube. I'm like, fuck that changing the oil yourself crap.
I had a Chevy Nova with a little 302 in it, and I could do anything to that. You could change.
You were good?
Oh yeah, it was easy. There wasn't anything there. You pop
fuck
the
up
hood.
your knuckles trying to
couple of times
turn some fucking screws.
Yeah, you curse real loud. You just motherfucker,
and then you get back
on.
shit
like that.
That skin comes
Where
off
is
nice
that?
on this, huh?
Where's that place?
This is Shelby's original Los Angeles area location.
No, that's the different one.
There's
one in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't want to give
and
up.
then the other one.
You don't want to give up where the other one was?
No, I'll see if you can figure it out. Let's see what a good detective our own Sam is
Let's try
over
to figure
here.
that out.
Yeah.
So when are they going to get the car back to you?
Yeah.
Oh, they haven't told you what's wrong with it,
Exactly.
right? Okay.
That's the thing. I don't want to drive back up. I said up. I don't want to drive back up.
All right. So
but
up location from New York.
So I'll probably just have it flatbedded back or something like that from there.
Right.
Because I don't feel like I don't feel like driving all the way there. Stupid car.
Right.
And then drive back.
Sure.
in the good car. Which, wow, man, that rental car can take a beating.
Why were you beating up the rental car?
Because it's a rental.
So you get away with some things.
Yeah, you doesn't matter what you like. This morning it was just pouring fucking rain, and I didn't care. I was doing like 75.
Wow,
hitting giant puddles, just hydroplaning sideways.
Were you really?
It was great
For a little
Fun.
while.
It's called fun. It's like a ride. I was on a ride on my way into work today. It was wonderful.
Hey, so the oil slick. Getting back to that, Ant.
Oh yeah.
So 3 months. Mm-hmm. Are we up to Valdez numbers here?
Not
or Valdez
yet.
situation? Because that's the big one.
That's your benchmark.
Yeah, that's the benchmark, right? Are we going to surpass that?
They're saying that if they don't get this fixed promptly, that it will surpass that.
And why is it
giant oil slick.
Why is it so dangerous to New Orleans?
Oil's not good in the water.
No, I understand that, but they're saying that could be a catastrophe for New
A
Orleans.
lot of marshland and stuff in Nolens, and they're a coastal city,
right?
Very low lying, and I don't think oil is very conducive.
Well, it's not
to
good for anyone, but
the
they're saying this is really, really bad.
Yeah,
especially for New Orleans. Does
yeah,
anyone
probably
know
the
why?
marshlands. And
You're going to go with the marshlands?
It's going to kill the marshlands.
I don't know why you would still live down there. Enough already. Somebody's telling you something. Get the hell out of that area.
Is anyone swimming off of New Orleans, by the way? Anyway? Is there a beach there? Who even knows?
I don't know. I really
don't know
how
either.
it's all set up, but
just jump in.
But I mean,
jump in the oil slick.
But then it goes. What's next to New Orleans? Let me think. Is it Mississippi?
Mississippi.
Is Mississippi that way?
Mississippi.
So Mississippi is being affected too. This gets explained a little bit. Ryan in Oklahoma. What's up?
Morning, boys.
Hey.
So I was calling in to talk to you a little bit about that valve Anthony was talking about. It's
Sure.
actually called a blowout preventer.
You
remember the old oil derricks, those pictures where the oil comes shooting out of the ground?
Yeah, like in Giant, the movie Giant.
Exactly.
Yes, and they go,
that blowout
Gusher,
preventer-
she's a gusher.
That blowout preventer was designed to prevent that from happening, from the pressure of the oil coming out and shooting out the land. And the way it normally works on an oil rig is it's located on the platform of like a tension leg rig.
Oh, shit.
Well, this one was so deep in the water that the blowout preventer was located on the highest fixed position, which was actually on the bottom of the sea.
Oh, that's a bad place for it.
Really?
Right, because the sea was, or the ship is actually satellite located, so it just kind of floats over top of where it's drilling, and it's not actually fixed. So the reason why it's such a big deal is, the oil came up so fast that the blowout preventer couldn't have been activated or didn't activate.
Yeah.
And
Now what?
that's why this one's different than your normal sea rig.
Oh, shit.
So how are they going to fucking stop this?
Now what?
Well, they have the little rovers, the little submarines that'll go down there and try and cap the well. But until they can get down there and do that, it's just going to keep going. And the reason why they're saying it's particularly bad for Louisiana, I think, is because they're so heavily dependent on like shrimping and
shrimp,
that kind of crap. So I'm probably
you mean
blowing the
like
hell out of you now.
popcorn shrimp?
You think they're gonna like
and Cajun shrimp?
You're gonna mess the shrimp trade?
And coconut shrimp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what holds up.
Shrimp Creole?
Yeah.
I mean, it took about 3 years for salmon to come back when Exxon Valdez happened in the Alaska area.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, but now everything's fine up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Nature comes back strong.
Yeah, nature doesn't care. There's a few birds that are all stuck with oil and look all sad. But after a while, no one cares.
Not an animal guy for the most part, but when you see an oil fucking covered bird, it's pretty damn depressing.
I don't care about the birds as much as I do little otters.
And I fucking hate birds, but man, you see that bird with his
Just
wings
don't
all
want a
covered in
little
oil.
otter.
It is a sad sight.
A little otter getting
Otter's slick though. Can't you get it off the otter a little
no,
easier?
No, their fur and everything. They got to wash them all.
What about the fucking bird wing? I mean,
Yeah, birds, pain in the ass. It's like you shouldn't have. Your bird, you fly. What do you land in the water for, dummy?
That's true.
Fucking after the first 100 birds
That's true.
get caked with oil, you might fly over the fucking
You
oil
do have
slick.
the means to stay, above
Yeah.
the water until you could see that it's not an oil
Exactly.
slick below you. You're right.
Dummy.
Fuck the birds.
Fucking stupid birds. A little otter can't fly.
That's right. Otter just
Poor
pops his
thing.
head up going, what the fuck
Looks
is
all
this?
sad. He's like, oh. All of a sudden, he's Bowser. Bob, 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 bang, bang. Little otter with his hair slicked back.
I got it. We got it in. You don't have to explain that. It was a fine joke.
Yeah.
Shrimp kebabs. Shrimp
Off
burgers.
the subject,
Yes.
I just want to say very general. There's an old man who works here who we've had a lot of issues with, and I'm just biting my fucking cheek.
Why?
Because I have always kept a certain public courtesy.
Right.
And I'm just going to say that when walking out of the bathroom and somebody like opens the door and then just squeezes through it, lets it close on your face. Like I understand the difference
man.
between somebody not seeing you and just being
Right.
rude. But somebody really should talk to this old man because we laid off. He got destroyed when he bashed this show.
Yes.
And then he went and he cried to Human Resources. And we have not said a word to this motherfucker. And I'm just telling you, if a guy is going to be blatantly rude, I'm going to start being fucking vicious.
It's Alex Bennett, by the way. We name names here. He's a complete asshole.
I'm not saying who it was.
It was Alex Bennett.
I'm not saying his name.
It was Alex Bennett, because I've had the same problems in the bathroom with the fucking guy.
I'm not saying anybody's name. I'm only saying management knows who it is.
Everyone knows who it is.
And I don't care if the person likes us. I don't necessarily like this person. But there are certain behaviors we display in public as far as like a holding a door. And I'm not saying you got to hold it, but don't like purposely walk. I know what you're doing. I've been on the planet 41 years.
Yeah, you know when somebody's doing it on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, that's the social equivalent of like not like when two people are walking down a narrow corridor, turning shoulders. Even if I don't like somebody, and believe me, I don't like this person. I do not like this person or respect them.
Yeah.
That is something I wouldn't do.
What an asshole.
It makes me so angry because it's like you had your shot. You had your shot. You talk shit.
Yeah.
You lost. Now fucking move on.
Not only lost, went behind the scenes because he was hurt. He was hurt by
And believe me, I'm not saying a person who I don't like or who doesn't like me should go out of their way to display courtesy. I'm not delusional. But when two people are walking out of the bathroom back to fucking back, don't do something like that because I wouldn't do it. And then don't cry.
We don't know this guy, though?
I'm not saying who he is. It's irrelevant to me who it is to mention his name. Management knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Randy in Nolans. Randy.
By the way, Sam got it.
Yes, I did.
All right. Good for you, Sam. Randy.
Hey, man, I just wanted to...
What do you want, you tuning son of a bitch?
What, Randy?
New Orleans is quite a ways from the Gulf Coast where the oil is now, but the concern is it getting into Lake Pontchartrain, which borders New Orleans on the north, because about 15 years ago they stopped dredging the lake, and there's actually marine life back in it. And if the oil was making back into Lake Pontchartrain, that would be on where New Orleans is.
It would be what? The last 5 seconds crapped out. Seriously. Go ahead, Randy.
It would be on the coast where New Orleans is because it borders Lake Pontchartrain.
Right. Okay. Yeah, it's a horrible, horrible situation down there.
Like
horrible.
And they don't even know how they're going to shut this fucking thing off.
It'll affect oysters too.
Oysters
and tourism. How does it affect
tourism? How many people go into the Gulf of Mexico? I guess the beaches.
Oh, okay.
Some of the beaches.
It's not Bob Edwards. Bob Edwards has never had a problem with
Bob Edwards is a nice guy.
I'm Bob Edwards.
Yes.
Eddie. Eddie. I'm tired. That ghoul.
We beat up Bob Edwards for no reason whatsoever. If you want to
He's
know
a
the
very
truth.
nice man.
He's a very nice guy.
Very good broadcaster. He just sleeps upside down in a cave.
Right. XM had a rat problem, and Bob Edwards said, I'll take care of it.
Yes.
And he worked overtime.
All right, Bob, could you throw the tentacles around like the octopus is really attacking you?
He crawled around the fucking crawl space eating rats in the middle of the night, helping the rat situation in XM. You haven't heard about the rats at XM lately, right?
No.
God, did I want to say something fucking rude, man. Wow.
Yeah.
And you have to bite your tongue. I don't want to bite my tongue.
You don't have to fucking bite your tongue. We're on the air. We can say whatever the fuck we want.
No, I'm
man.
talking about when it makes me very angry. Call somebody out
very
horribly
Yeah.
for their like just you know.
It's very rude.
But I don't slither behind the scenes
Yeah.
to managers. I just don't do it.
You're a good man.
I'm just not a woman.
All right, we got Dave Winfield in a minute.
Just like a nice
good.
cock.
Fuck, I gotta take a leak.
Go
God
run out with.
Damn it! God damn it! Wow, really? Let me say hi to Joe in Boston. Joe, how was that water main break up there in Boston, Joe?
It's not going to be over till Wednesday, guys.
Boil your water. Boil your water.
I heard no one had water for the most part in the city of Boston, or a couple million of you.
Yeah. I work in a restaurant as a server, so we have to boil water, give them we have to go to the store to buy ice cubes, give them cans. It's a major pain in the ass.
Oh, that's too bad. It's people starving in Africa, but people couldn't get their ice cubes in fucking Boston. I don't know what to tell you about that one, man. That sounds like a fucking
Can't
bad
have a
situation.
nice cold drink.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Dave Winfield entering the studio. We got to go, Joe. Call back. Because I like your fact. The oil rig could drill like the height of Mount Everest. I don't know how the hell they're going to plug it up. All right. Call back with that, Joe. Dave Winfield in studio. Hi,
Yes,
Dave.
Dave Winfield.
Mr.
How we
Winfield. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yes, indeed.
All huge fans of you, sir, even though I'm a Mets fan.
Well, that's all right.
I'm a Mets fan, but still a fan of Dave Winfield, that's for sure.
All right.
You look exactly the same as you did.
It looks like you could play still.
I think it's that good California living, you know?
Yeah.
The land of the fruit and the nuts out there.
Is that it? Yeah.
We exercise now, but it's been good. Life is good, and I'm always glad to be here in New York.
How long has it been since you've been playing?
It's been about 15 years.
Get
I hate
outta
to say
here.
that. I hate
96.
to say that.
It was 96 when you said goodbye?
95 was my last year in Cleveland. We went to the World Series, lost to Atlanta, gave them their only win. What the heck?
Right.
Let me ask you, as Dave Winfield, as an athlete, what is the worst thing about fans, or what is the thing as a player that drives you nuts when fans do or don't respect?
Anything you do, Jimmy.
I'm a fanboy, but I'm honestly, these guys get approached constantly, and what drives you nuts about that?
Sometimes when I'm with the family or you're doing something and someone just says, please, and sometimes they're not nice. Can I get an autograph? You sign autographs and stuff like that. But there's a couple of times you're in the bathroom and you're standing there and the guy looks over at you. Hey, Dave Winfield. I said, not now, man, not now.
I want to shake
no
hands.
handshake, shake this.
No, yeah.
And David, this is the most amazing thing I read about, and I didn't know this. Besides being drafted 4th overall, you were also in baseball. You were drafted by the Hawks and the Stars and the Vikings.
Yeah. Only guy ever drafted in all 3 sports. And
that's amazing.
Actually, they did a commercial. We did a commercial recently. Actually, well, I'll just say with Verizon, and they said, who was the only guy drafting all these sports? And then I walked behind him, and I got a tennis outfit on and everything. See, he does everything. But no, I had a lot of fun with that growing up. Kids nowadays don't play enough sports. The parents either don't let them or the schools don't let them, and the kids think, he's going to grow up and be the best tennis player ever, best baseball player ever. And then they end up being 5'2" or 3, and or the best basketball player ever. But it doesn't work that way. Play everything. Just be athletic, be healthy, and have some fun.
How do you feel about the not keeping score in sports now when they're trying to, instead of teaching kids how to lose gracefully, they're not keeping score at all?
No, they're getting too politically correct, man. It's competition, man.
Good for
It's
you.
competition out there.
That's
It's
what
like,
you're gonna have to deal with in the
I
real
know
world.
I know a lot of kids. They got a bookshelf full of trophies, but it's just for showing up. Buy the trophy at the end of the year. Did this kid ever win anything?
What is he good at besides just being on time? He's punctual.
Exactly.
So what are you doing? You're out of baseball, and do you miss going there every day? They say that's the hardest part for guys when they leave is just the camaraderie and hanging out with the guys.
That's difficult, but everyone goes through that with your exit. When you exit the game, and where do I go and what do I do? And you mean I have to check into the hotel myself, or I have to make my own airline reservation? What the heck is going on
What is
here?
this about?
But life changes. And I was fortunate. I got a good family, and I always did things in the community, and I kind of knew what I wanted to do. I went into television when I first finished, and I'm back there now. You'll see, tune in on ESPN, Baseball Tonight. You'll see me talking and interview people. You'll also see me working with the San Diego Padres. I'm executive vice president, senior advisor. But right now, and why I'm here, and I know we're going to get to it, but Ask.com has asked me to be a spokesperson this second year, the campaign called Ask.com Answers for the Cure. And if you just go, they want to get as many people involved in this fight against breast cancer as they can. So they're using their site, and you go to ask.com/for-the-cure, and you can go to the baseball-themed home site. And there's a lot of answers to questions. You can ask questions, and you can get answers. It's a wonderful site, and ultimately, Ask.com makes a sizable contribution to the Susan G. Komen for the Cure.
Really good friend of mine in Philly.
Yeah, who's
survived.
That? Oh, yeah?
I don't know if she wants her name, but survived, and she had it bad.
Well, listen, the reason...
Doing well.
Yeah, knock on wood, God bless her.
It's been about a year, so.
Well, see, this is personal. My mother had breast cancer. When I played here with the Yankees in 87 and 88, man, it was rough because she's in Minnesota. I remember being on the bus leaving, the Yankees, I beat the Twins at the time, but I'm getting on the bus, and she said to me and my brother who was there, I felt a lump in my breast, and I got to go in on Monday. It was like on a Sunday, And she said, I'll tell you the outcome of it. And then when she told us she had them, we said, oh, man, what do you do? Where do you go? So she hung on for about 1.5 years. She was able to make it to my wedding, with my wife. She loved my wife and everything. But it's a difficult situation. And so hopefully I can use this platform and this opportunity. Like the kickoff is today. And we're going to go all the way through baseball season to October. And I guess what more fitting way for me to be involved? My mother's birthday was, we're on May 3rd. This is hers on May 4th. And Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday. So I'm going to do whatever I can within my strength and abilities this year to see if I can make a difference.
And men get it, too. People forget that. It's like, I want to say Bubba Smith had it, and Peter Criss from Kiss. It's like, it's just, for men, it's like not as masculine, I think, to say you have it.
You're hitting it on the head, men get it, too. They need to get checked. My wife told me, she hit me, like that commercial of the car. Hey, they hit you. And she said, you're going to get your checkup, too. I said, okay. But men have to do that. And actually, this campaign, the way it's set up, men sometimes think that it might not have been so manly because there's a lot of pink going on, but you see my pink bow here,
well,
right?
No one's going to criticize you.
Yeah.
I don't think anything you wore, nobody's going to question it.
I think you can handle pink. I don't know if we can there, Dave.
But you can go on your.
I mean, we still support, but I don't know. It looks way better on you.
I hear you. But you can go on your computer at home in your pajamas or at work or whatever, and you can go to the website and you can, contribute or you can find some answers.
And it's ask.com/forthecure.
For the Cure, absolutely.
Yeah, please go there and check it out.
Did your mom get screening and stuff? Because they say it's like
early
early screenings really help. Or was she one of the people who just kind of hated the doctor and didn't want to go?
No, she didn't hate the doctor. I mean, she just retired. I mean, she's right. 65 age.
Oh my God.
She retires. I got her she lived in a nice place, had wonderful friends, and she didn't get to enjoy retirement. Really.
Damn it.
Yeah. And so. No, it's a thing that happened. It's part of life. But if I can be on the positive side and campaign, make people aware, get them involved, in all kinds of ways. And I'm talking about men. I'm talking about people that follow baseball and just all of America. So I appreciate this platform, just being able to talk about this, guys.
There's got to be one cool thing about, it's like when you're retired, it's like, what do you do? And it's like people really do, because people love It's Winfield. So, of course, people listen. It's like nice to be able to have just the name recognition. You can kind of use it to help a fight for something that you really like or that's positive.
Well, yeah, I played 22 years. I did something I loved. People knew they know who I am. And so, they listen, and I'm glad they do. I mean, that's what's been great about this sport. You make a name for yourself and you can give back by name of your celebrity or your time. That's what I do. I had the foundation all those years working for kids, scholarships and substance abuse prevention, on and on.
You've been a good man, Dave.
No, I appreciate it, really.
But can you still hit a fastball?
I teach other kids to do it.
Do you swing it all, or you're like, I'm done with that. I don't really need to swing a bat anymore.
Every once in a while, with the Padres, spring training, I put the uniform on and I'm with them for a few days. I eat with them. I'll exercise with them, and I get in the cage just to show them how it's done. And,
right on.
But I got to tape those wrists heavily, man.
Oh yeah,
and the knees, a lot of ice, but it works.
Do you guys get angry? Like you guys, you made obviously a lot of money, but when you look at guys that are making like these $100 million contracts, and does it make you go like, oh, Jesus, I wish I was 3
You would have been
later.
one of those guys.
Yeah, you would have been one of those guys.
You would have been one of those guys, Dave.
I tell my son.
I know you did well, but
my son just told me. He said, I don't want to play baseball anymore. I was like, oh man. So every day I slip him, or through my wife, I slip him and say, Ryan Howard, 25 for 5. And they say, Dad, you only made 30, 40 million. I said, come on, man. Americans don't make this kind of money. But baseball is a great occupation. You have a lot of fun. You make a lot of friends. You make a name for yourself. You travel. I got a college education you meet presidents. I know the last 5 presidents of the United States. If they come in here, hey, Dave, how you doing? So I'm doing good. How you doing? But, we'd have, because of sports, I've done a lot of stuff. And not only for myself, but for others. And that's kind of what life is all about. It really is.
Is your son talented?
He is, man.
Does he have a shot, you think?
The man is 6'7", 230, 15 years old. Jeez. I said, man, all you got to you can throw. They're scared of you. Come on. But as a parent, you can't keep
push
pushing. You can't let them make their choices. I have a daughter, plays volleyball.
Just tell him
They're
you're going to cut him off when he's 21. If he
I
doesn't
do
continue.
tell him that.
You threw his chest set
I
out.
said, but we're doing all right. I said, what do you mean we? I'm doing all right. You haven't done a thing yet. But we have a lot of fun. Got a great
6'7",
family.
230, 15 years old.
But they're very bright in school.
Wow.
They're good kids.
Good
That's what it's all about.
Does he love sports, or does he kind of feel like it's got to be tough if you're Dave Winfield's son? That's a lot to live up to.
You know, and someday I'll find out if that's why sometimes they back off or something. But they love sports. They love, going to games and meeting people and video games and all that. They're typical teenagers.
You went into the hall as a Padre, which did not make Steinbrenner particularly happy. Was it because you had was it kind of out of loyalty because I think they brought you up, or was it just kind of you were annoyed at the Yankees?
No, it was the former, is what you say. It's like the Padres drafted me out of college, let me come right to the major leagues. I did everything there for the first time. And I appreciated that. When it came down to it, the ownership of the Padres wasn't the same as when I started to play. And with the Yankees, after I left, I hadn't really talked to them. They never, after I left, it was 10 years after I left, I really had no communication with anybody.
Wow.
So you make your choice. But, it works out where I'm still friends with everybody. They embrace me. I'm glad when I come to New York. I have a good time, man.
We all think of you as a Yankee. That's nice.
Most people, a lot of people do.
Yeah. What makes you decide after such a long career too that it's time to just stop?
Sometimes they do things to you that you say, "Man, what kind of mess is this?" I'm playing with Cleveland. We're up one time. We're up by about 10 games on the rest of the league. And they're going to pinch hit for me and we're winning? I said, you come on, man. What kind of nonsense is that? One of my teammates said, man, you got to go get the manager. You got to. I said, I can't go out like that, man. I can't knock him out. That wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be right.
Is it insulting when they pinch hit for you? Is that like? It is.
He's Dave Winfield.
I don't mean Dave, but I mean in general for the average player.
It's not like he's a fucking
average player. No.
Yeah, that was
average player. No. But Dave Winfield, yes.
Yeah, I said, come on, man. What kind of stuff is this? But you get to a point, and on the other side. As an individual sometimes, you swing at a pitch, how did I miss that one? And then it happens again. How did I miss that one? And so when I finally retired, my wife said, you're squinting when you look at this paper. I'm not squinting. So I go and I can't even read the stuff on the wall, with the doctor's office. I said, maybe I should have got some glasses. I'd played a year.
I could have squeezed another year or two.
So that's when it's time. But I was fortunate. It wasn't like the body had broken down. No knee surgeries, no concussions, no. I was blessed.
You played 22 years. I mean, you had a long career.
That's a long career, especially without tearing yourself up like that.
I was keep your thought. Keep your thought.
Yeah, no
but
problem.
It was a good thing for me. I didn't play on a lot of AstroTurf. Well, now whatever they call it now, but back then it was AstroTurf.
And it was harder back then
It was
too,
just
right?
a little green fake grass on top of a concrete parking lot. And so a lot of guys I know, man, they've had hip surgery and knee replacements. I'm blessed. None of that's happened.
Wow.
Kind of leads to my question, the steroid thing.
Yeah.
Do you talk about that, or I
I
don't want to put you in a spot.
No, we can
today.
talk about it. I mean, I'm executive vice president in baseball, and the Padres. When I address the team each year, I tell them, hey, we're going to do everything we can to support you young people. Want you to succeed. It's good for the organization. It's good for you. Want you to succeed. If you mess with drugs, we're going to bust your behind. We don't play.
Right.
You're going to get a bad name, bad reputation. You're going to lose your opportunity to have a great life. So I don't mind telling them, I'm glad that the sport has cleaned itself up. There are a lot of guys I was really kind of proud of and supported and looked at. And then when I heard that they used the drugs, I lost a lot of respect.
And you had no idea when it was all going down when you were playing with some of these guys?
No, I'll tell you. When I was playing, there were a couple of guys like Jose Canseco all of a sudden. He said, how did he hit the ball off the back of the stadium? I've been playing 20 years. What kind of, but you, okay, maybe one guy was fooling around or something like that. But then it became, when I finished in 95, it wasn't prevalent. They didn't talk about it. Right. No one would have used drugs in front of me anyway. They just wouldn't have. And
I would assume that would make you really mad because you're obviously a guy that doesn't need steroids.
Yeah,
you're always a big, strong guy.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, I came up. I was tall, lean, skinny guy. I mean, I got a couple pounds, muscle and stuff on me. But I just made a commitment when I was coming up. I'm going to play this game straight and clean and do it right. I'm one of the few that succeeded, didn't even use the greenies, as they say, the uppers. I'm one of the few guys in the sport that could say, I didn't do any of that. And I just tried to take care of myself, and let me see how long I can play and how good I can be. I don't have to look over my shoulder when it's done.
Do you think the season's too long? We were discussing that recently. 162 games before the playoffs.
No, and they won't cut it back either.
It's just hard to get into your team the first month or two because you have so many freaking games left.
It is, but that's the way baseball has been. It's still America's sport to a large extent, even though there's a lot of hype on basketball and a lot of hype on football and everything like that, but still 70-plus million people come to watch baseball games a year. Minor leagues, 40-plus million every year.
Wow.
And baseball, anybody can play. You can be Dustin Pedroia size or David Eckstein, or you could be big Randy Johnson size, or this John Roush playing from Minnesota, 6'11". So you can be any size and play. But you got to play it from when you're young and continue. Can't do like Michael Jordan, his great athlete as he was. Couldn't play baseball. You can't
Did
get
you
away
laugh
from
at that?
and come back.
Did you
No,
laugh? Come on, Dave.
No, I didn't laugh.
Come on, Dave. The video's online. Come on,
Dave.
His strike zone was as big as that door right there. He was.
How you going to laugh at a guy who had about $100 million in the bank?
Well,
and
that's
Nike
all right,
shoes?
that's a
I
good
said,
point.
Michael, let's go out later on, man.
They're telling us Dave has to leave.
Yeah,
he's way behind.
Very
No,
busy
it's okay.
today. But Dave, you got a lot of people that they're not going to be able to talk to you, unfortunately. A lot of breast cancer survivors or people that know people that survived that. So it's ask.com/forthecure.
Exactly.
Believe,
Go
right?
there and then click on the baseball homepage.
Great.
And one way or another, that's going to help. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for your time, and everybody within earshot. Go get checkups. Go online. Do what you have to do, and we can make a difference.
Right on.
Thank you.
The great Dave Winfield.
Please come back and see us. We can talk to
Anytime.
you all morning, man. Dave Winfield. We're going to take a break.
Hey, this is Joe Perry.
Hey, everybody, this is Travis Tritt. Brian Regan.
This is Charlie Murphy.
This is Lois Griffin.
This is Ozzy Osbourne.
This
is Flavor Flav.
This is Larry the Cable Guy. You're listening to Opie and Anthony. And if you're not, you're a communist.
Major depression is a serious medical illness affecting 15 million American adults. Here at the Jim Norton Center for Mental Illness, we offer individual counseling for those suffering from this leading cause of disability.
Can I just tell you, I fucking hate mentally ill people. I really do.
Our thoughtful and courteous staff will listen intensely to your problems.
I'm sick again. Fucking annoying burdens. Shut up.
And offer a variety of suggestions to help you with your illness.
You should be fucking put down.
For those suffering from a more serious case of depression, medication may sometimes be prescribed.
Make me better. Either take your fucking medication or throw yourself through a window. Nobody will give a fuck.
Our goal is to help you live with your depression.
You're just a drain. You say the same fucking shit day in and day out, and nobody gives a fuck, and you don't get that nobody fucking cares. Shut the fuck up.
Remember, you are not alone. Depression affects more than 5% of the adult population.
Holy, we all got fucking problems. Why does everybody? You fucking burdens. You're a fucking emotional slug.
If you or anyone you know is suffering from depression, visit the Jim Norton Center for Mental Illness today to receive a free counseling and find out if treatment is right for you.
I'm hurting. I don't care. I don't empathize. I don't sympathize. I don't give a shit.
The Opie and Anthony Show on the Virus. Sirius XM.
How cool was Dave Winfield? Could have
Very
talked to him
nice.
for hours. Very easy to talk to, right?
Yeah. We got a photo together. He is a big guy.
His son is 6'7", 230 pounds, and he's 15 years old.
How big is Dave? He's about 6'6".
Dave's was he taller than you, Kenny? Same height, and you're what, 6'5"?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's about 6'5" then, I guess, huh? Wow.
Yeah, he had big hands too.
I wanted to ask him about the seagull. We ran out of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no one will ever forget that. Was he hitting or was he was throwing, right?
Practice throw. Yeah,
What do we got? Oh, Bret Michaels. Doctors are now saying he's going to make a full recovery.
Oh, good.
Holy shit. Wasn't looking good last week.
No, what happened?
I don't know. The blood stops pouring pouring out, and I guess you'd go back to what you were doing. I don't
Put
know.
a tap in the back of his head and just.
That's what they're saying. We'll see. I hope that's true. Can't wait to have him on the show to talk about that.
Yeah.
He will definitely talk about that on our show. Next Batman movie will be released on July 20th, 2012. 2 more years? Come on.
July 20th.
Come on. That's 2 years
more
out.
than 2 years.
I know.
Wow.
Seth MacFarlane says Arizona immigration law like Nazi Germany.
Is it really?
Like Nazi Germany.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Is that what it is?
Because the Germans were trying to legitimately stop people who were living in Germany illegally. And you're right, in Arizona, you're right. They're going to just gas people to death, and they're going to kick doors in and demand papers and then put people in camps. Yeah, it's an excellent comparison.
Yeah. Perfect.
Very smart.
That is the dumbest thing. They always bring up Nazi Germany.
so
It's like Nazi Germany. He's like another Hitler. It's not Nazi Germany.
Exactly. Get 'em.
They're illegals. They're trying to keep people that are not legal in here. Do you know 80% of illegal aliens in New Mexico and Arizona are criminals?
No, that's
80%.
impossible. Come on.
80%.
That can't be true.
80%.
Fox tell you that? Fox News?
Yeah. People are saying.
Fox News, right?
I'm just saying people are saying.
People say that's all you watch.
That's
Fox
all I
News.
watch is Fox News.
So you had to get that stat from them.
Someone says, that's bullshit, Ant.
That seems very high, Ant.
Put it this way, 100% are because they're illegal. They're breaking the law being here, so they're all criminals.
You've taught me about stats over the years. That 80% seems very suspicious.
Yeah.
What kind of crimes? Like jaywalking? Or
I don't know. It could be anything.
silly
I just said
crimes
criminals.
included, or what?
Probably silly crimes.
All right.
Like doing the Mexican hat dance in the middle of the street.
Well, you got to celebrate. You got to celebrate. You made it across.
Yeah. Is that how you celebrate
Yeah,
in
why
the middle
not?
of the street?
You just blow it like,
Move
oh,
along.
shit.
Move
Why do I have
along.
to celebrate in the middle of the street?
I'm dumb.
Right.
Well, maybe a couple of them start doing a tango on the highway or something.
Illegal immigrants vow to keep coming to U.S. despite Arizona law. So they're not going to be stopped by this silly law. They're going to keep trying to make it to America.
Why are they not just emigrating here legally?
That's good.
I say they're welcome if they just come legally. I can't comprehend how people can't want them just to come legally.
Apparently, it takes too long.
Obviously, it's too much of a hassle.
Too much work.
Or
You got to
people
learn.
would do
How about you
gotta
clean up the
learn
corruption in your own
English.
country?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, make a country that people would go over the border to get into.
Why did none of us go there
Right.
illegally?
They wouldn't even care. It's like, oh, fine. Yeah, this guy's going over here. Yeah, who cares?
You know when you go there illegally when you're fucking running from the FBI?
Yeah, 100% of Americans that are illegal in Mexico are criminals, I would say. It's the only reason you go there. No one wants to go there. No one's fighting to get into Mexico. Yeah, fix your stupid country. How fucking long has that country been just a pile of shit? My God. Hey, yeah, you got your tourist spots. But, I mean, Christ. Clean it up. You got those corrupt fucking bandito police. They're old police cars they buy from us.
Is that what happens?
Oh, yeah. There's like 1960 fucking
We do give the
Chevy Impalas.
We give the rest of the world our hand-me-downs.
All our shit, yeah.
You know, planes.
We do.
Wow, look at that oil slick. What the fuck?
That's just a piece of it. Yeah.
We just suck.
Yeah,
We
oops.
just fucking suck.
That was a big whoopsie.
It happens. You know what? Like, fucking, how much
That's a
wildlife
big-
is killed by the volcano? Fuck wildlife. It'll be fine. The Earth is oil's from the Earth. It's not like we fucking flew it in from the moon. It's from here. It's like the Earth took a big shit on itself. The Earth has diarrhea.
And we're just taking advantage of the diarrhea?
God damn,
Is that
Jimmy.
all it is?
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
the-
even think of it that way.
People forget it's going to hurt the environment. It's from the Earth. It's oil.
Oh, my God. That is funny.
And it bubbled up.
We got an illegal on the phone. We got an illegal.
An illegal?
Keep him on the phone so we could find his location. Are they listening in down the hall end with the big fucking reel to
think
reels?
so.
All right, let's keep him on the line so we can fucking find this guy. Martin, what do you got, buddy?
Hey, it's not that easy to come here illegal, like Jimmy was saying. We have been here. We're probably like 50 people living here in the U.S., and to come here is not that easy. We try to do stuff illegal, and we pay a whole bunch of money here and there, lawyers and all that crap. And they told us, okay, go back to Mexico. You're going to be coming back illegal. And as soon as you're back in Mexico, they tell you, oh, you could not come back because you need to do this and that and that. And my brother, he already paid like $20,000.
Wow.
And his wife is still back there in Mexico. And he's a U.S. citizen. He has kids. He has been married for 7 years. And INS still don't let his wife come back to the U.S.
How long of a process is it? Like, if you just go through it, like the legal paperwork and stuff, how long is that like supposed to take if it's just done legally?
Well,
that depends how much money you want to spend in it.
Oh,
Because
you could probably speed along if you have the right attorney and probably a few bucks in your pocket. But I think there's not a lot of spots available for illegal immigrants, right?
It is, and
They don't give out an endless amount of visas, I would assume. There's probably a number.
Yeah, they only give certain amount of numbers a month, and then but they'll make you go like so many times a year, and every time you go there, oh, it's gonna be a couple of $100 for fingerprints. It's gonna be a couple of $100 for medical examinations and all that crap. And then as soon as you go into the people's gonna stamp your passport or visa, whatever you want to call it.
See? He talks funny. You sound like Speedy Gonzalez.
See?
It's kind of hard to keep two languages at the same time.
Hey, what do you? That's funny. What do you think the U.S. should do then? What's the answer? It's like, because again, this is not a knock on Mexicans, because they really do come here and work very, very hard. It's just the aspect of so many people coming in illegally is not good for the system. What do you think the U.S. should do?
You know what? It's kind of weird, dude, because I work on farms and all that stuff.
Really?
And farmers, they even send people that know this kind of stuff. You guys might not notice, but they bring loaded buses from people from farms.
Let's bring the Jews into it.
And they bring
the Jew guys.
They bring a couple of hundred people over here to the U.S., and then they'll make them
The Jewess?
The Jewess.
And
well,
then there's Jew and then the Jewess.
No, you know what? He's pretty accurate.
Yeah?
The Jews run everything. We all know that.
That is true.
Might as
Even the
well call
Mexicans know it.
Might as well call it Jewess.
My God.
Okay, USA, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
That is right. It does.
You're right,
I feel like I'm
whatever.
playing Tropico. This is wonderful.
What do you pick all day long while we fucking sit here in air conditioning rooms fucking making a bloody fortune?
Yeah.
What do you pick all day?
No, I used to pick up grapes, onions, strawberries, and all that. Right now, I'm a truck driver. I used to do that when I was 17 to
Are you
19.
going down to the titty twister? Only truck drivers are allowed to drink it here at the titty twister.
Only once in a while when I drive to New York.
He goes to the titty twist.
You had to pick grapes individually, or would you, kind of clip off a bunch?
Can you repeat that again, please?
Did you ever get
for a
stung?
Dumb joke. Trust me, I know it was dumb.
Did you ever get stung by a bee picking? I always think fruit pickers must get stung by bees all the time because bees live in the tree. I would fucking
They
hate
love
to.
fruit.
Yeah.
Bees love fruit.
Snakes and all that kinds of shit in it.
Snakes?
They love fucking stinging ball bags, I hear.
Ow. That would
And
hurt.
then one other thing that
Yes.
somebody was saying about the baseball teams and all that not playing in Arizona.
Yeah.
They said that you guys were saying that there's not too many illegals playing, but there's a lot of illegals cleaning the stadiums, serving your beer, your food, and all that.
No, I'm kind of pointing out the hypocrisy of Major League Baseball. It's almost like if you're so for illegals, then the Major League Baseball, if they want to make that kind of statement, should just make a statement and start allowing illegal immigrants to play in Major League Baseball for way less money than players are demanding right now. And let's see how fast Major League Baseball players change their stance.
Yeah, but you know what? If they want to hire a good baseball player from a different country, they go to INS and they'll give them the green card right away.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's not the same if you're like poor. If you're rich, you can get like a lot easier to come over here.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You ever...
Hey, Rick, what do you say we go out?
Hey, you ever have a bad day while you were picking grapes and, I don't know, maybe took a dump on a whole bunch of fucking grapes and didn't wipe your hands before you went back to picking?
Every time, dude, my hands, they were clean all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And can I say one more thing? I drive to Mexico a couple of times, like at least one time a year, and I take my XM, and I could hear you guys all the way up there, dude.
Oh, fuck, he's a fan. You know what? Nothing but the best for you, my friend. Nothing but the best.
I have my Sirius for my XM since probably 7 or 8 years ago.
Are you legal now, or?
Yeah, I'm legal now.
Hey, congratulations to you, sir.
Yeah, but you know what? I spent a lot of money.
No one cares.
A lot of headaches and all that.
A lot
It's
of
not that easy.
pesos.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's
You
up?
know what?
Hey, explain the coyote thing to me. Is that a real thing?
It's like every other. They have coyotes that bring people in through New York, from Canada, through here. That's not only on the Mexican borders. They had. I live in Minnesota. We see that shit often here when you go north Minnesota to Canada border.
But
and it's not only Mexican people doing that. It's all kinds of people. Even white people participate in that.
But there's a lot of corruption with the coyotes, right? They're the ones that bring you to the country, and then you're indebted to the guy for a lot of fucking money. And then I hear even after you pay off your debt, they're still trying to get money off you.
Nah, not really.
That's good to know.
You only pay your one-way ticket one time, and that's it. They do that with different races of people that they come from southern, like all the way from South America or China or different places. Like us Mexican people, we only pay certain amount. You pay your amount, they'll let you go, and you can do anything you want. You look for your own jobs and all that.
Hey, are you still taping Mind of Mencia?
What was that?
Nothing.
Oh, if I like Carlos Mencia?
No, that's okay. Thanks.
So do you?
You know what? Go ahead.
The only thing one question I have about immigration, and I kind of want people to come and just respect the culture and learn the language. And maybe it's just because I'm white and I speak English, so I notice it when people don't. But it seems like a lot of people that come here don't learn the language. I don't mean just people who are here for a month, but people who are here for a long time. And
can I tell you one thing on the language too?
Sure.
A lot of people don't like people learn our second language as English.
Yeah.
Because, like I told you a few minutes ago, my family is like 50 people that we live here in St. Paul,
50.
Minnesota.
Jesus.
Yeah, close to 50. We're a big family. And almost everybody learned English, but now everybody's doing their own Chira company and all that.
Yeah. Can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you don't drink beer often, but when you do, is it Dos Equis?
Dos Equis and Corona, Modelo.
I love Corona.
I'm just trying to find out. You're pretty.
I know it's a wimpy
you're
beer,
pretty
but I like that
interesting.
Corona. I want to know what a strawberry is.
Strawberry?
A strawberry.
Oh, come on.
The guys learned a whole other language, Opie.
it really is amazing. Like I don't speak any Spanish.
No.
The guy speaks great English, and he misses an S, and we're like, you fucker.
And you know what? A lot of my relatives, they love Jimmy Norton. When he came to Minneapolis, to the casino.
Oh, yeah?
A couple of them went and see him. I couldn't win because I was out of the.
Really? When they cleaned his room, did he leave a big mess?
Not really.
So I'm glad they had fun. Thank you. That's.
Look at Jimmy shaking his head.
I don't know what to
in
say.
disgust.
Thank you very much.
Can I say my nickname?
Sure.
Yeah.
My name is Tududoo.
Tududoo?
Doesn't sound like a real name.
What is that?
No, it's a real Mexican name.
Is that like your CB handle when you drive?
Wait,
Toodly-doo?
Tududoo.
How do you spell it?
TRRDUR.
TR.
That's like I'm the second Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh, Tududoo. It's like an R roll. Tududoo.
Yeah, Tududoo. Yep. Like Frankis.
I like this guy. Martin, you're all right, man.
Thank you, Martin.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
brother.
thank you, my friend.
Thanks,
Have a good
sir.
day.
Take care. Between the ditches.
Sure. Let's go to Keith in Kentucky. Keith.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Hey, I'm an immigration lawyer, and the biggest you hit on it, Ant or Ope. The biggest problem is there's a limited number of visas that can come from where you can immigrate legally from Mexico every year. So the guys, it's like a 10 or 15 year wait if you go through the process legally.
Yeah, so of course you're gonna fucking take your chance. Why?
What do you? Yeah. And the worst thing is once you get here, if you entered the country illegally, you can't start the process here and like continue to work and let the clock run on you. Because if you've entered the country illegally, by definition, you can never again legally immigrate. So they get you here, and then they punish you if you were to go back and try to come back legally.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a crazy INS rules are crazy.
I like
because
the other
they
guy
say,
better.
Yeah, they like big strawberries.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, there you
But
go.
it's crazy because if you come from, from a political country where they're having political unrest, there's an unlimited number of visas. So it's random rules, and it's a really bad system.
It's good for business, though, right, sir?
Oh, well, the bad part is what that guy was talking about. When you got scumbag lawyers over here who tell the illegal immigrants that if you pay me $10,000, I can get you papers, when they know that you can never get them papers if they came here illegally.
Oh, wow, that's
right. Welcome to America.
Right on. Thank you, Keith. Let's go to Brian no, Brian, hold on. I am going to go to you, but hold on a second. I got to go to David in Washington first. David, go ahead.
Hey, boys.
Hello.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a Border Patrol agent, and first of all, I don't know if Anthony was serious about that 80% or
That's
not.
way too high. Yeah, come on.
That's way off.
Oh, yeah.
More like 98.
That's way off.
Is it 100?
But the thing about it is, like, the reason it's so bad, Arizona particularly, it's like the United States is the only place on earth where you have a first world country with a land border on a third world country, and they just have to. All they have to do is walk across the border. So that's why it's so easy for them to come over here. Whereas like China and places like that, they have a long ship ride, and then they're isolated, and they have to kind of adapt, or else they just get left behind, whereas they've got so many millions of them coming over here across the border that...
what do you mean by them?
Mexicans.
All right, I was just testing you.
Right. About 85% of illegal aliens are Mexicans. Another good chunk of them are from other Latin American
But how come?
places.
Let me ask you. How come there's so much stress put on? Like, oh, it's terrible to want the borders closed up. Why can't they just, when they want to strengthen the borders, why do people consider it racist or upsetting when they just want to make the borders stronger?
Actually, in my opinion, the way to go would be to actually enforce the laws that we have and go after the companies that hire illegal aliens. I don't think that you really can. There's always going to be more holes than there are plugs as far as the border is concerned.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I guess they don't.
We don't, but we don't do that. And so they feel, because the jobs are here for them, they feel like they're invited here, even though the public in general may not feel that way.
They feel they're invited?
Because the jobs are here for them.
Oh,
right. All right, sir. I got to move on to Brian in Oregon. Thank you, sir. That's David in Washington. Brian, what do you got for the Opie and Anthony show?
Good morning, boys.
Good morning, Brian.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Thank you.
The biggest issue I have with it, I drive up over here on the West Coast, and I see how much everything's changed, and it drives me nuts how every time something like this goes down, as soon as somebody gets uncomfortable, they throw the racial card out there. I don't understand how this has anything to do with race. You're not targeting anybody, for their race. You're targeting people that are breaking the law by being here.
Of course.
I don't understand why that has to be racial. If you're trying to, why do we have immigration laws if they're not going to enforce them?
Because it's like the argument about what if my kids hear it. People need a quote-unquote ace in the hole to go to when they can't stand on the argument, on the merits of just their argument. They need an ace in the hole to go to. So for some people, it's what about the kids? For other people, it's family values. For other people, it's race or ethnicity.
I don't think it's really that much of an inconvenience for people to have to furnish documentation. For those of the Mexicans that are here legally, I really don't think they should be offended by this. I mean, because I'm sure they worked very hard to become legal to get here.
Right.
So I think, they shouldn't, in my opinion, I don't think they would mind furnishing documentation. I think the fact that everybody's causing a stink over this is just a large admission on most people's deals that they know they're illegal.
I do think they should crack down on the companies and stuff. But what people say, well, just do better police work. Well, how about the intuition of a police officer? He sees somebody and they're behaving in a certain way, and he thinks that they're possibly could be acting suspiciously. Not even that they're criminals, but maybe they're uncomfortable that an officer is there. So he says, let me see some ID, and they're like, well, we don't have any. That to me is intuitive police work. But then they go, no, that's racist, and that's like Germany, Nazi Germany. So how do you stop it if you can't stop people and ask them?
That's just it. And to let Opie know what you guys were talking about last week, the phones are terrible.
They said they fixed them, though.
I can hear you real good when I was on hold, but as soon as you guys come on live over the line, it's very.
All right. Well, someone tell
very hard to
the
hear.
guys down the hall.
I haven't.
please.
We should probably
Still-
mention that to them. We haven't mentioned that yet.
Yeah. We still got. They did something and said they sounded good and they tested them, but obviously they're still having problems. So how about you look into that today without it being a big fight and me calling you babysitters and
Yeah.
stuff. Thank you. All right, Brian.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, let's go to Jim in Arizona. Jim,
right here.
Jim,
not in Arizona.
Jim.
Yeah.
Jim.
Jim.
O&A.
It's funny, man.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah. Hello.
We're right here,
Hey. Jim, can you hear us?
Yes, he can.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jim. What's up, buddy?
People in Arizona, 60% of them are for the new immigration bill, and the other 40% are illegal immigrants.
You got a high count in Arizona today?
Yeah.
It's all stuffy.
Yeah, you might want to blow your nose.
But anyway, I think it's time something should be done. You talked about the keys. They're the ones that are bringing the criminals across the border. They pay the coyotes to get them out of Mexico.
Yeah, I just realized we don't know what the fuck we're talking about. We just wasted 20 minutes on something we have no idea.
We don't know.
Has it ever stopped us before?
Ant's got stats
I
that
threw
are way
out
off.
fake stats that but I have a mic in front of me, so who cares?
What the fuck do we know about this fucking topic?
Well, I'm down here in Arizona, listening to all the.
Is there a lot of? Is there really a lot of illegals running around more than you would see anywhere else in the country?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, very obvious, over the top, wherever you go.
My wife works for a landscaping company, and they don't try to hire illegals. They run them through the e-file system to check their Social Security, but. Every year she fills out hundreds and hundreds of W-2s, and they all come back, address not found or undeliverable and stuff like that.
She's just playing the game. Come on, stop. You're being silly now.
Why?
Because obviously she's hiring workers that look like they might be illegals, but she's saying, no, they're not illegals. They gave me a W-2. Come on.
Well, they declare a W-2 that they're married.
Does she pick them up outside of Home Depot, but they say, no, this is where they live? Come on.
No. She checks
Everyone
them
just
out.
plays the game. We all know that. Come on.
No. Anyway, it is a bad problem down here.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, we got rats up here. You want to trade places with us?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Come on.
All right, guys. Have a good day. Punching out.
All right, Jim. Thank you for that. That was amazing.
I spent time trying to back up my stats with facts, and I just can't.
80% is so fucking high, man.
Yeah, that's
It
80%.
really
Where did you
is
hear
high.
that? All right,
But if they were 80%,
that is high. That's
maybe
8 out of 10 fucking.
Maybe I dreamt it.
illegal. Come on.
That coming over the border are criminals.
maybe one of your websites said that.
Oh, I might have seen it there.
It's not a good source.
Oh. Oh. I wish I had that right.
Yeah? Whatever. What do we know?
Not anything about immigration.
Let's listen to Obama be funny.
Oh, this is the comedian in chief, I heard.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what they were calling it. Oh.
What is it? The White House correspondent dinner? It gives the president a chance to make some funny.
I like how they're saying that Leno didn't get which maybe he didn't. I didn't see the set.
I heard he bombed.
But yeah, it's.
I heard he really had a bad set.
Imus bombed horribly.
A lot of people saying Leno really had a bad set.
Stephen Colbert did not do well. From again, what I saw, he may have had great stuff after. Wanda did very well.
Wanda Sykes?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who really.
No, Wanda fucking.
Yeah,
how many other Wandas do I know?
Wanda
Jesus.
from In Living Color. Jamie Foxx as Wanda.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
And the George Bush impersonator, the guy who does Bush, did really well. Like the guy, he's You see, he looks just like Bush, and he's. I think that was White House Correspondents' Dinner.
So, but you got to. I mean, Obama, he's got a lot of joke writers. You know, the best in the business, and he just reads their
best
jokes.
in the business.
Let's hear the.
They get the best fucking writers for Obama. Yes,
probably the same guys Jay uses.
They get
honestly.
Hollywood guys, and write up some jokes for Obama. Obama reads their fucking jokes and gets a great response from it. you
Daily
know?
Show. Daily Show writers.
Obama used Daily Show writers. Okay,
But I think 80% of his writers were Daily Show writers, and they were criminals.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's true. I have a microphone. Look. Microphone.
80% of all stats are bullshit.
Yes.
Here's Obama being funny.
I work a lot.
That is funny.
And so I wasn't sure that I should actually come tonight. Biden talked me into it. He leaned over and he said, Mr. President.
Who?
This is no ordinary dinner.
Biden talking.
This is a big meal.
Oh, the beep. Did he drop the N-bomb? Was that it?
He has terrible timing.
It really is. A big boop.
Dale.
Dale. Dale.
Yeah. He has horrendous comment timing.
Terrible.
It's bad.
I hope there's more.
No, that's it.
Oh,
That's
please.
all I got
I want
today.
more of the comedian in chief.
I can't allow Obama to look bad on this radio show.
Really?
I just can't do
Just
that.
let him look bad in the White House.
Jesus.
Sorry.
Obama takes a few shots at Leno, who is seated very close.
I am glad that the only person whose ratings fell more than mine last year is here tonight. Great to see you, Jay.
Oh, great to see you, Jay.
At least I'm white.
I'm also glad that I'm speaking first because we've all seen what happens when somebody takes the time slot after Leno's.
Very rough. Delivery-wise. Yeah. It's a good joke, but terribly delivered.
Yeah.
But it's a very funny joke.
And even Jay was making fun of him. He goes, "Good night, everyone." That hack shit. That comedian said, "Good night, everyone. Make sure you tip your waitresses." Tonight's okay. Well, I'll just play more of this.
By the way, all of the jokes here tonight are brought to you by our friends at Goldman Sachs. So you don't have to worry. They make money whether you laugh or not.
How do you deliver a joke?
Wow.
Again, I understand he's not a comedian. Can we play that one again?
You put Velcro on the ceiling.
Just listen to the way he gets into this setup.
With the us and
the president is supposed to be Obama is supposed to be a great speaker. So can we just hear the opening of that?
By the way, all of the jokes here tonight are brought to you by our friends at
Jesus.
You never want to say brought
to you.
All of the
Goldman Sachs.
All the jokes tonight brought to you by Goldman Sachs. I can't even say. But you don't pause and drift off. And what are you doing? You're the
By the
president.
way, all of the jokes here tonight are brought to you by our
American
friends at
Tourister.
Goldman Sachs. So you don't have to worry. They make money whether you laugh or not.
He's not killing, by the way.
No,
There's
he's
a lot
having a
more-
six.
No.
There's a lot more people in that room than what you're hearing.
It's a very tough place to perform.
The Jonas Brothers are here. They're out there somewhere. Sasha and Malia are huge fans. But boys don't get any ideas. I have 2 words for you. Predator drones. You will never see it coming.
Oh, my God.
You think I'm joking?
So it would be bad for his daughters
I
to
have 2
date.
words for you. Race mixing.
Be a problem for his daughters to date
The Jonas Brothers.
who are already millionaires and they're not even 18.
And they have promise rings like they're virgins, too. They're great
Really?
guys to date because they don't bang before marriage.
Right, they could be the nicest guys on the planet.
wrong
And they're
with him?
really rich
Oh, it's a
with
joke.
good careers.
We're being literal.
Of course.
To try to
But why the?
trying to explain his bad jokes.
Yeah, but I mean, that joke would work if he was talking about someone that might have a bit of a reputation, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're squeaky clean, so that joke doesn't even make sense. Or just dating in general, like a father's protective, I guess.
Yeah, he's being a dad.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I know. Well, too much.
Unfortunately, John McCain couldn't make it. Recently claimed that he had never identified himself as a maverick. And we all know what happens in Arizona when you don't have ID. Adios, amigos.
His delivery. He has the worst delivery.
Adios, amigos.
Oh.
You're not supposed. There's no semicolon between adios and amigos. It's one word, sir.
Let's say hi to Pat in Staten Island. Pat.
Or one.
Good morning, boys.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you're critiquing the president. I mean, he's not supposed to be funny. He got more laughs, believe it or not, than Leno did. Play the Leno clip.
We're going to.
He got more laughs than Leno did. You'll see.
But I am making fun of his terrible delivery. Because when you look at a president, you're right, they're not supposed to be stand-ups. But Bush had a decent comic timing and delivery. Obama is like heralded as a great speaker, but his comic timing for a guy who is such a great talker is terrible.
I think Bush, it just came naturally to him.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what Jimmy said. More of a sense of humor. All right, no, we're going to play Leno stuff. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
We were leaning to the Leno stuff. Dumb caller alert. Tom in Jersey. Tom?
Hey, what's up, boys?
Hey.
Listen, you got to give the guy kudos. He's a president that tries to do stand-up. He got a few laughs and stuff.
Doesn't every president try to do stand-up every year in this?
Everyone does.
Everyone, right? With the White House correspondent dinner, that's the whole thing.
He's a professional speaker, too. He should know how to deliver a line.
Yeah, but here the concept is he's black. So you got to look at that.
Well, why would that make a difference?
Sir?
Because he's black. That's simple.
But how does that make a difference?
What is wrong with this guy?
He's still black.
What is wrong with this guy? Tom, what's wrong with you?
You know, I got issues, just like you do, Anthony. Don't tell me I know how many guns you got. If there's anybody that's black, well...
What? You don't like... So, Tom, you don't like blacks and you got a lot of guns?
Well, yeah.
You're a crazy person.
So, are you a smoker?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Pole?
What kind of smoking you do, man?
What do you got?
Well, all right. So you smoke the fucking weed, but you smoke a lot of cigarettes every day, too?
Well, yeah.
What's wrong with this country, Tom? Tell like it is.
What's wrong with this country is very simple. We allow too much crap to go on. We go and we go into other countries. We give them money, and we fund everything. Okay, there's an earthquake here. Here you go. Here's some cash. Oh, tsunami? All right. Here you go. Here's some cash. Oh, there's a volcano. Here you go. Here's some cash. Meanwhile, we got people starving over here.
Meanwhile.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
We got people starving over here.
Yep.
Now, you look at countries like India, they're starving over there.
And over here.
Over there. What's wrong?
They could eat the cows, but no, the cow is God. What cow can walk through the frickin' living room? You know?
Yeah.
Right?
That's funny.
It's just ridiculous. They let rats walk all over them.
They really do, huh?
You know, I mean... Hey, all right, punching out, boys.
No, I see. All right.
I'm out of material.
All right, call us again.
All right, sir.
All right.
He's just rambling.
I know, but I like when they.
That's what I was just hearing in my head.
I know, but that's why it was good. Let them fucking ramble. He's talking about cows walking through their living rooms and fucking rats walking all over them.
He could have kept going. I wouldn't mind hearing that guy for another few hours. Do you know how annoying it is when you're talking and someone's doing that? It's terrible.
It's the worst.
You can't be taking them seriously when they're talking and hearing that noise.
Of course not. Oh, shit.
All right, here's Leno at that same White House
Oh.
Correspondents' Dinner.
We were done with the president?
Yeah, that was it. That's all we really had.
Presidente.
A couple zingers from him.
All right.
Thank you very much. This is every comedian's dream, rich people eating. As you know, there was quite a security line to get in. I got stuck behind the Arizona congressional delegation. Luckily, all their papers were in order, so it wasn't too much of a problem to get in. And I have the distinct honor of being the only person on this panel not subpoenaed by Rod Blagojevich. So I think that's pretty impressive itself.
Good line.
I can see the White House press corps very excited tonight. This is about as close to White House press conference they've had in a year, so this is it. So enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah. I'm not looking over. Is he laughing? No. Now, some of you on the news have mentioned the president been getting a little gray since taking office, but he's had his share of stress, tough economy, 2 wars, healthcare fight, Iran, North Korea, his mother-in-law moving in with him. Huh? I think that would break most men. And sometimes the press can be one-sided. As you mentioned, all during the election, they would ask things like, is Obama black enough? Is Obama too black? It's never the other way around. Is John Boehner orange enough? Is he too orange? We never hear that.
Why does he sound like he's just kind of calling it in? His delivery's weird.
I think that
maybe because it's a casual thing and he doesn't want to.
No, it's not. I think because when you're doing, if you feel you're not getting the response that you want, as a comic, you're aware of it immediately. I mean, you always.
That was his first minute.
Yeah. So again, he could
knew
probably
right out of the box.
Yeah, he could probably sense. All right, this is not going to go the way I want it to go. The first, and it's, I don't care how good of a comic you are.
Right.
It's the president you're performing in front of.
Right.
You call him the warden. Just would love to see him.
And there was a big setback for NASA this year. As you know, President Obama cutting the space program and sending more men to the moon. We're not going to be sending any more men to the moon. Although we can point to one major achievement during your time in office, Mr. President, we did get an astronaut on Dancing with the Stars, and I think that's something we can all be proud of. Ooh. I have the privilege of meeting President Obama a number of times, and all surprises me to hear critics describe the president as cold and aloof. I have never found him that way. He loves to socialize, healthcare, car companies, things of that nature.
That's a great fucking joke.
Well,
Yeah, that was a good one.
I want to congratulate President Obama. He has done more than anyone for the American car industry, except for Toyota. Of course, Toyota.
Good joke.
And as you may have heard, there were more problems for Toyota today. Apparently, 2 of the crash test dummies refused to get in the car. Yeah, so it's not. Things are not looking good.
That wasn't bad.
It's
like
not bombing. He's getting some big laughs in there, right?
A few laughs.
Now, Mr. President, I have to admit, when you were elected, a little worried the comedy well at the White House had dried up. So thank you for picking Joe Biden. We appreciate that. It was a wonderful thing. Joe is a great pick because nobody's more media savvy than Joe Biden. Here he is with Andrea Mitchell. Now, the word he is looking for is avatar. The word he is looking for is avatar. Let's take a look.
You've been a very busy man. Do you and Mrs. Biden ever get to the movies? Academy Award picks? Any favorites among the Oscar nominees?
As a matter of fact, we do. I think one of the odds-on favorites is this new program that I looked at it and wished I was seeing it in 3D. And you sit there and you watch this science fiction thing unfold in front of you. I think Avatar.
Avatar, Joe. It's Avatar you're trying to say.
Oh, he looked like an ass.
And as you know, a lot of Republicans could not be here tonight because it is dollar drink night at the Bondage Club. So unfortunately, yeah. And Michael Steele is here. Where is Michael? There you are, Mike. Michael, this has got to be pretty boring entertainment for you, isn't it? I know what you guys are used to. A couple of guys talking. Come on.
Huh?
That was my favorite story. Republicans and a lesbian bondage club. It's ironic. Republicans don't want lesbians getting married, but they do like to watch them tie the knot. So I thought that was interesting. I did think that was interesting.
Well, I heard he bombed. I mean, he's getting a good reaction with this stuff,
laughs,
right?
Yeah.
See, Washington is a very scary place. Between Republicans going to bondage clubs, the SEC looking at porn, I can't wait to get back to Hollywood, someplace wholesome where people have values. And according to the Pentagon, Al-Qaeda is in financial ruin. You know what broke them? Health insurance premiums. That's what do you know the monthly premium for a suicide bomber? You have any idea what it is? You know, I was thinking about this. If you took all the money Republicans spent trying to stop health care and all the money Democrats have spent trying to get health care, you know something? We could have had health care. We could have had it a couple of years ago. Now, supporters of this bill say that the American people will now get the same health benefits that members of Congress get. And, of course, that's great. How about some of the other perks? The free travel, those envelopes with the cash in them. How about some of that? Huh? The get-out-of-jail-free cards. Why can't we get that?
That's terrible. I'm sorry.
Nah.
Stop it!
So to speak, literally.
Be more funny. That one might have fell a little flat, but
Wow.
It's doing about 20 minutes here.
And as you know, the Secretary of Defense Robert Gates announced that the Pentagon will ease up on its enforcement of the don't ask, don't tell policy. They said that the homosexual behavior will still be against the rules, but nobody will be actively enforcing it. Kind of like the ethics regulations in Congress. It's basically the same sort of deal. And of course, as you mentioned, Eric Massa claimed that Ron people were shocked. Congress has a gym? Anybody in Congress look like they work out? Huh? Did it take Barney Frank 30 years to get that body? Really? Him alone every day? What's Harry Reid bench pressing? 5 pounds now?
No.
And as you know, the president has the most diverse staff in history. They represent every ward of Chicago, and I think that is fantastic, Mr. President. Fantastic.
This is going great. All right, it might have been the second half that he had a problem with. First half wasn't bad.
We have a lot of movie stars. Michael Douglas is here. Where's Michael?
Uh-oh.
Michael Douglas?
No.
As you know, he won an Oscar for his portrayal of an evil, greedy Wall Street broker who is willing to manipulate the market for his own personal gain. Where does Hollywood come up with these crazy ideas? Bill Maher. Where's Bill Maher? Bill, you here? Bill Maher, one of my favorite comedians. Bill is the reason we had no opening prayer tonight. They were afraid he would boo, so we couldn't do that, so I'm sorry.
I was only joking.
See, because he's not a religious guy.
Wow.
And finally.
Of course, Osama bin Laden now releasing tapes blaming the United States for global warming. You know, I think he's running out of ideas. Huh? That's the best you can do. Even the United States blames the United States for global warming. I think he wants to quit Al-Qaeda and join Al Gore. Basically, I think it was. And as you know, President Obama has been promoting alternative energy. Texas State University has now developed exercise equipment that operates electricity when you exercise. See, they hope that one day people will be able to generate enough power from their home by exercising. Huh? Well, you thought Americans were hiring a lot of illegal aliens before. Huh? Manuel, keep pedaling! And
Get the fuck out now.
Obama threw out the first pitch at the Washington Nationals game against the Philadelphia Phillies. But he didn't tell you that Biden got kicked out for cursing at the umpire. You didn't bring that up, Mr. President. You see, the pitch was not a good pitch, no. But to be fair, he had just come for an interview on MSNBC, and I think you were used to softball. So I think that's probably what...
I'm sorry I did that.
I'm going to get fun. Well, you know, I tell you something. A lot of critics felt that President Bush did a better job of getting the ball over the plate. That's what they said. But on the other hand, President Obama can talk. So I think it balances.
That's funny. I'm funny.
All right, well.
Wow.
I'm Paul R. Nelson.
It's been funny.
I made an ass of myself.
Someone's saying audio very low. Please turn it up. Trust me.
Yeah, they didn't want to.
You didn't really need it turned up. All right, so.
Yeah. Not a great night.
Not a great set?
Not a great night, no.
Jordan writes, wow, Leno is really eating his old denim-covered balls.
His fucking... This motor oil on him from his oil change.
Kyle from Indiana. That is silence only heard in outer space.
That was not an easy room
No.
for either man.
No. Sirius is up to $1.20 a share.
Yes. Well, 121 if you want to languish on one.
Oh wow.
That's why I'm.
Oh, how about that?
How about that?
That's pretty good.
121.
Isn't that amazing? They needed to get over $1 a share to not be delisted.
It's actually 120, you're right.
And lo and behold, somehow they got over $1 a share. How does that work?
How about we end the show, you dummy?
No, I'm just wondering how that happens.
I'm not touching that one.
I'm just curious. I'm not trading it.
I'm not touching that one.
Subs are up. Subscriptions are up.
Yeah,
It's a-
yeah,
it's
the
obviously-
economy's coming back.
It's a better year.
More cars are being sold.
Perfect timing, right?
It's perfect timing, exactly. That's all I'm saying.
We lucked out.
This time last year, they never could have done it, though. I mean, the economy was too shitty.
No.
I think that simply by promoting me more on the platform.
No.
Is that what it is?
But of course.
Yeah.
Jimmy, get that Borgata info out there so the people start buying tickets.
Well, they can't buy them till Friday morning at 10, but I have to promote because they wanted to go on sale later in the month, and we said, no, we'd rather go on sale earlier. It's July 2nd and 3rd. It's July 4th weekend. I will be there. One show each night. These shows sold out in January. It's my first summer appearance there, so I'm hoping it goes well. But Friday morning, 10 a.m., theborgata.com. And we may be doing something down there. I can't say what it is, but something may be happening at the Borgata that weekend. So I would hope people would come July 2nd or 3rd.
All righty.
It's a huge weekend for them.
All righty.
A lot of gamblers will be there.
All righty.
And me.
Well, I think that's it for Monday.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think so.
Haven't even eaten your salad there.
I know. I ate
sat
some
there
of it.
all day.
I ate some of it.
Yeah, where's the rest?
Going in the shit can.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good